go ahead and make sure you click that link, get you some Teach Hanley, and support the Media Man YouTube channel, and also support Teach Hanley. Good evening. Welcome to another Media Man live show. Before we get started, I want to send a special prayer to the victims of the Covenant school shooting. I don't know if you guys have heard, but a school shooting occurred at the Covenant School, a Presbyterian private school in the Green Hills neighborhood of Nashville, Tennessee. 7 people were deleted, including 3 children, all 9 years old, and 3 adults. The heinous crime was committed by a transgender woman named Audrey Hale. She was 28 years old, and it is reported that she used to go to the school. So I just wanted to send my prayers and well wishes to the families of the victims. And I hope Audrey Hale gets punished to the full extent of the law. This is unacceptable. We've had too many of these active shooters, and it's time to do something about it. You know, I'm all for gun rights and firearm laws and, you know, carrying and things of that nature, but something needs to be done, right? So once again, prayers to those families. And it's just tough, you know, knowing that 3 9-year-olds were deleted before they even got a chance to experience life, you know, and that's where we're at in today's society in the United States, and it's unnerving, right? So what I'm gonna do here is just take a couple of moments of silence to go ahead and honor those victims. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, y'all, for letting me get that out. It's just, I care so much about kids, and I just hate to see that happen, right? So let's go ahead and get to the show. Sorry to start off with a somber a somber, mood, but I had to get that out. I was in the gym when I heard the news, and it was just sad. So I see we already got Mona in the building. Thank you, media. She said, "Hello, media man," in the chat. Good to see you here. We got my man Pooh Man in the building. Appreciate you, good brother. Always showing up. He says, "How is everybody doing today?" And then we got Gene in the building. What's good, man? He said, "What's good, brother? Things is getting crazy in this YouTube streets." Absolutely. Yeah, I'm new. I don't have affiliation with any of these people other than the support that Dennis Sperling has gave me. But we're gonna talk about it. Let's see here. Mona D says prayers to those babies, the staff, students, their families, and their community. Absolutely. It was just unnerving. It was upsetting to me, right? But yeah, well, once again, welcome to the Media Man Live show. Before we get started, I need y'all to head over there and subscribe to the Media Man YouTube channel. So wait, let me get to Mahogany's. She said, FYI, the police encountered the shooter on the second floor where the shooter was also deleted by the officers. Shooter was born a biological female who identified as a transgender male. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. And we got Blood Crow 1698. He says, shout out to another military brother. I love to see my veterans in the building. Thank you, good brother. I appreciate your support. Thank you, bro. What service were you in? And also, yeah, I'm kind of off because that the school incident kind of took me off or whatever. But let me get back into it. So it would greatly help if you guys send those super chats and cash apps in. Like I said, these live streams take a lot of work. I know content creators, they don't talk a lot about how much work goes behind developing a platform where you're trying to put out content of value, especially when you're dealing with statistics and health and things of that nature. So these things take a lot of work. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys go ahead and donate those super chats and cash apps. 100% appreciate it. Like I said, it's always put to good use. I actually took Mona's advice and went to Amazon to buy some new luggage for my trips, right? So this is Mona's doing. So I got a 4-piece set. It was from Travelers Club, right? So I got on there. This I think this set was maybe $150, right? And yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I've been checking it out. I rolled it around a little bit. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Thank you, Mona, for recommending Amazon, because I went to Target and they didn't have much variety. So I was like, let me see what Amazon got. And sure enough, Amazon had everything on there. So I was definitely excited to get some new luggage. It finally came in. Only took like a day or two. So I'm good to go now. So as you guys know, I'll be heading out very shortly to start my overseas travel. And like I said, I will be doing those vlogs, and I'll be putting out content periodically while I'm over there. But typically when I go overseas, I work, but I also use that as somewhat of a vacation. It's very tough. I rarely vacation in the States, right? So most of my off time is used for traveling overseas if I'm not going for work. But this one is actually a work trip. I only got a 2-day seminar that I'm going to attend over there. And then after that, I'm out in these streets. So yeah, it's going to be a good time over there in Europe. And I'll definitely let you guys know once I touch down and make it safely. So yeah, so appreciate it. Oh, we got a super chat, man. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. Blood Crow 1698, man. Oh, see, we just became best friends, brother. I'm retired Air Force. So yeah, we just became best friends. So you ain't got to tell me nothing else. You served in the world's greatest Air Force, the best branch in my opinion. You know how it is. But I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Smoke and Talk, what's good? He says, shout out to all the moderators in the chat. And Smoke and Talk, I got you. I gotta make you a moderator. Like I said, you've been supporting me for a while, and also you support my man Theo. Theo left us hanging on Monday. I was pissed off at Theo. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting on the show to start. Then I looked at his community tab, and he was like, "Man, I'm not going live today." So, man, Theo, you left me hanging while I was at work, bro. What happened? No, he had to take care of some business, and he'll definitely be back on Tuesday. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Smoke and Talk, and also subscribe to Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast. You will have a great time over there. I always listen to Theo while I'm at work. And that dude be having me dying laughing. Sometimes I have to mute and turn my camera off when I'm doing live streams at work because he be having me dying laughing. Appreciate it, bro. Look at my man, Gene Herb coming through with the 999 super chat. He said, I got you, brother. I appreciate that, man. This is going to be a very extensive one. You guys will see. Let's see here. Whoa, Quill with the $5 super chat. Man, y'all are so gracious. Thank you for your support. He says, thanks for spending time on these issues that actually affect Blacks in real life and focusing things around data versus rhetoric. Absolutely. And I'm going to touch on that as well. Has a lot to do with this whole manosphere thing and just pearly things. And yeah, we'll talk about it. Absolutely. See, bro, Crow, no, he said, yep, let them know. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That old Air Force life. Thank you, Mona, for telling people to please like the video. I will definitely forget. Rich Goodson, he said, 999 super chat. Love the work you put in. Go Navy, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Nah, I love the Navy, man. I've done a lot of work, hit some rides with the Navy as well. So I appreciate all branches of the service. But as veterans, I don't think civilians understand, but we have like a little internal rivalry or whatever. We take the President's Cup football games very seriously. So yeah, so it's a good thing to have that internal rivalry. It's all in good fun. When I was working at the Pentagon for 4 years, that President's Cup was a pretty big deal. So you got bragging rights every time a branch won the President's Cup. If you guys are unfamiliar with what that is, it's the Army, Navy, and Air Force. We play each other twice, right? Or we play each other during the college football season. So whoever has a better record wins the President's Cup, you know, between the three teams. So yeah, so it's very important to us. Yeah, thanks, Will. Appreciate that, bro. Pooh Man says a lot of YouTubers are retired Air Force. Yeah, I'm starting to notice that. Yeah, I like that. A lot of intelligent brothers. Man, my man Jay Fleming in the building. Say good afternoon, brother. Appreciate that, bro. Always good to see you in here, brother. And then Smoker Talk says salute, bro. Like I said, subscribe to Smoker Talk's page. You definitely will not regret it. Let's see here. Okay, we got everybody. And then Mona says, please like the video. Appreciate that. So let me give you guys a quick overview and a rundown in regards to what you're going to expect from tonight's show, right? This is a for educational purposes only live stream. If you were expecting an adversarial type of discussion, this is not it, right? Because the fact of the matter is that both Black men, Black women, straight or gay, are doing horrible in protecting themselves from the big five: HIV, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, right? So this is not to point out a specific statistic to use it against each other and things of that nature. This is simply for educational purposes only. Sometimes I can be jaded to the fact that a lot of people don't understand how STIs and STDs work. So it is my job as a content creator to bring something of value to these spaces. I'm not an entertainer at all, right? Because I know before even doing this live stream, I know that these videos that I clip up, they're not going to do well in regards to monetization. But you know what? I don't care because I have to get this message out there. I have a specific checklist that I need to put out videos for, right? And this is the last one that I have specific videos to do for my channel, right? So, like I said, I'm not an entertainer, guys. I'm here to bring value to the space, and hopefully you guys learn something just like I learned from you all, especially in the comment section and the people that I bring up. But this is a for educational purposes live stream only. This is not to be adversarial or use it against that person or that person or that group, because the fact of the matter is I see these numbers every day. And every day I have to sit there and look in the camera at work and discuss why the African-American community is failing in regards to STIs and STDs. So it needs to be talked about. It needs to be said some education needs to be had, and we're going to do that today, right? Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we got that clear. All right. So let's get to the first topic. So let me address this, and let me make sure I wrote this stuff down so I could be very clear in regards to what I'm saying. So 1 second. Let me get this right. Cool. I don't like how this note stuff come up. So for starters, let me just thank Brandon L. Jet, aka BLJ. You've probably seen his name in a lot of spaces before. He makes his way over here periodically. Let me just give a thanks to BLJ for letting me know that Dennis Sperling had mentioned my name in regards to doing a video on the percentage of men who aren't really the fathers of their children. Right? So now, after I posted the video, there were a lot of black men that were either questioning the statistics, adding variables, or upset that a woman, Professor Marlene Zuck, had landed on such a low percentage, basically alluding to something like, of course, a woman would say that it's low way of thinking. That's what I got. So let me explain something. If you believe that the percentage of men who are really not the father is 30%, this is what you'll get. Let me show you something real quick. Hopefully I brought this up. You guys ready? I want you to pay attention, because the narrative out there about men not knowing who the father is 30%, right? There's 30% of all men who aren't really the father, right? But I put out that video explaining that it's between 1 to 5%. Actually 3.7, which is the number that Professor Marlene Zook landed on. And basically what she was saying is that all men do not get tested for DNA testing. They do not get tested because they feel that they don't have a reason to get tested or question the fact or the paternity of the child, because they don't get tested. They don't have to. They don't think, they don't care, right? So from the percentage of men who have reasonable doubt and the ones that do get tested, out of that percentage, right, there is 30% of men that come back as not the father. Out of all the tests, when men get DNA tested, 30% out of the group who does get tested, right? Keep in mind, I said that out of the group who does get tested, that it's 30%. So if you have 100 men that go get tested and 30 come back not the father, that's your 30%. But that 100 is coming from a small percentage of the total male population. Does that make sense? Right? Because the majority of men do not get tested, right? So if you believe that it's 30%, this is what you'll get in regards to what rhetoric you're trying to spew in these spaces. Let me show you something. Lady says in regards to why we shouldn't consider the statistics on Black fatherhood. Here we go.
We've been having about whether men really are single and childless, or do they have children that they are not claiming on a census or anything that actually calculates these numbers, because women are mothers once they have the child. Fathers are fathers once paternity is proven. So without proven paternity, there is no declaration that you have children. So even though you have 7 children, as far as the government is concerned, or anyone that is counting the numbers is concerned, are you single and childless?
That man got 1 kid. You heard what we said.
He got single and 1 child.
You gotta let him answer. You gotta let him answer.
That child on anything.
That's a good question. Shit, I'm
single. That child on anything.
I'm single with kids I don't claim.
Okay, exactly. So he does not claim his children. This is exactly what I've been saying. We have no way of knowing if women are only sleeping with the same men, because those are only the men that have proven paternity. So we don't have a number for how many men actually have children. We will not have a number for how many men actually have children. So us having this conversation about how many men are having the children that us 50-something% of women that have children are having them by is inaccurate. It's irrelevant because these men are not claiming children that aren't on their taxes. They're not claiming children that the government didn't say, the judge didn't court order.
That's a good point, though.
Okay, so let me explain what she was saying. She's basically trying to say that there's so many guys like that young man right there that has 7 kids by 7 different women that he doesn't claim. She's trying to say that it's so many men out there who don't claim their kids, then we can't accept the 54% of black men not having children number. So when you guys run with this rhetoric by saying I'm believing that it's 30% of men who really don't know who the father is, you know what that does? It validates her argument. Her argument is so paper thin, the fact that she doesn't even consider the fact that women, when these 3.7% men come back not the father, and these women don't know who the father is, that could be another guy as well, right? Or that could be a guy that already has a couple of kids. There's so many variables with her argument that's so idiotic that it doesn't make any sense to bring up, because this is what they try and do. When women don't like black men, they're going to try and poke holes in the statistics, right? So when black men in particular run with this narrative and they continuously say, oh, it's 30% of men who really don't know who the father is, that's untrue, because the larger the number gets, the more ammo you get women like her, divestors, to not believe what the statistics actually say in the CDC. So the statistics, data, and research that Professor Marlene Zuck has done proves that the actual number of not the father paternity results is 1 to 5%, with her research settling at 3.7%. The lower the number, the less there is for a margin of error or questioning how many men, black men in particular, are fathers. If you continue running around in these spaces and saying that it's 30% of black men who don't know if they're fathers, then what do you think what do you think that does to the statistical research that the CDC has done to prove that only 46% of black men have children? It leaves the door open for detractors or people who hate black men. And what they're going to do is dismiss the statistics and continue echoing this lie in regards to the majority of black men are responsible for the 69% of children at a wedlock rates and the stereotype of the black deadbeat dad. So if you're a black man that was expecting me to report a higher number of not the father percentages, and you're commenting, well, if all men were tested, then the number would be higher, I agree. But you're assuming. You cannot assume with statistics because, like I said, all men are not tested. We have to go off the numbers that are provided, right? As of now, the only men that are given DNA tests to determine paternity are the men who have reasonable doubt. And out of that group, only 1 to 5% or 3 to 7% have results of not the father after being tested. So does that make sense, guys? You can't have it both ways. You can't have black men having a 54% no children, right? And then also have a 30% men who don't know that they're if they're the actual father of these children. You cannot have it both ways. So the lower the number for the DNA testing, the better. Now, granted, like I said, I agree with you guys. I agree. If all men were tested, without a shadow of a doubt, those numbers would be higher. I'm going to tell you that right now. They would be higher because if only a small percentage is getting tested, and out of that small percentage, 3.7% is coming back not the father, that's crazy. So you can automatically assume that if every man was tested, there will be more men who are really not the fathers of their children. But we cannot assume when we're discussing and using statistics. So if you guys want me to be statistic-based and you want me to provide this proof, then you have to accept it when it's not in your favor as well. And I'm saying that before we get into these STI and STD statistics, because like I said, this is for educational purposes only live stream. So this is not to make anybody look bad or look good. We are not using it against black women. We are not using it against black men. It's just for statistics and to show you guys where we stand. So if you want me to be fair, I have to provide the truth. So you guys, if you're going to sit there and question in the comment section, well, this doesn't matter. She's a woman. She's a professor woman who's going to say it's lower. No, that's not what professionals do, right? So if that was the case, I would come up here and embellish the numbers just to make black men look good and make black women look bad, right? And that's another thing. I want you guys to understand that there was a lot of people asking me to discuss the child deletion rates or the unborn child deletion rates, right? But I discussed it in a previous live stream. I did not clip it. And the reason for that is because the numbers are so crazy that it's unimaginable if you've seen them before, right? And so I have yet to see black women use child deletion rates against black men. So if you look at my page, I have a checklist, right? If there's any false narratives that's going out there against black men, I'm going to do the research to debunk it. That's what I do. But my job as a content creator that's bringing value to this space, it is not to dunk on black women. Absolutely not. I love black women. I take care of black women. So I only do these live streams that we have to debunk something, and that's for a purpose. I'm doing that for a reason. I'm not doing it just to point out that black women are leading in the unborn child deletion rates. It's no point. We already know that, right? I've talked about it before. I did not clip it up because, like I said, it's crazy, the number that it's at, right? I talked about it before. We're going to leave it at that. So, like I said, if you came here and you thought that this was an adversarial space, no, I'm trying to teach. And I could care less if the black women who hate black men don't accept the numbers. Then as long as black men know the truth, I'm fine with that, right? Because I see a lot of comments again from black men saying they ain't going to accept the numbers, but you will. You know the truth. Instead of, man, I've been on this earth for 43 years. And for the better part of my life, I had to deal with these same stereotypes from when I was a kid. I've heard everything that you guys are hearing right now growing up, right? I remember when I was younger, they used to call black men apes when they dated outside of their race, right? I remember that. I remember all that. So for me to have a space to where I can sit here and give you guys the actual statistics, man, it feels good. I feel vindicated. I feel validated. You guys know the truth. I could care less about the women who don't accept it. Trust me, it warms my heart when I get a message or a ping on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube where there's a guy saying he's in a conversation with a bunch of women, and he'll say, hey, Media Man already broke down these numbers, and I'll see it and I'll provide the links. You know what happens? They don't respond. That warms my heart because they know the truth now, and there's all that message is getting out there now. So I could give an F about the women who don't accept it. That's their fault. If they want to demonize black men and it makes them feel better to think black men are bad and the enemy, I can't do anything about that, guys. That's them. They have to deal with that internal struggle at home. It's nothing I can do. No matter the numbers, they don't care. They already have their mind made up about black men. So you leave them women alone, and also some men, right? Leave them alone, and remember the rule of 10, right? 3 people for, 3 people against, 4 people undecided. My goal is to focus on the 3 people for and to talk to the people that are undecided, right? So hopefully when I do provide some statistics, if somebody thought otherwise about black men, they'll look at what I put out and they'll say, you know what? Damn, I thought this was true, but I guess it's not true, right? And then that will bring them over to the 4 side. I could care less about the other 3. They're going to be here. They're going to be in these spaces. Nothing you can do about it. Just leave them alone, right? So I hope that clears up the conversation in regards to the men not knowing who the father is, and also how I'm running my page and my content, right? So yeah, so let me get to some of these comments. And again, thank you in advance for the super chats. I appreciate it so much. Let's see here. Let me see here. I got to go up. I want to get the new folks in here. Man, I'm gonna try and say your first name. I see you in my comment section. I love it. Osaru. Let me know if I'm wrong. I apologize in advance if I got your name right. She said 30% is high. Yeah, remember, like I said, the 30% is only the men who want to get tested. Out of that number, it's only 3.7. I say only, which is still high, but yeah, it's 3.7%. Okay, you said this. Okay, 3.7, 3.3% is high. I agree. Let me see. Dane Rose. Hey, the first time seeing you. He says the Blizzard King speaks highly of you, brother. Keep up the great works. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah. Dennis Sperling has helped me out a lot. I appreciate him, and I actually got to catch a little bit of his live stream in regards to the Just Pearly things. We're gonna touch on that a little bit. Osaru says mandatory DNA test for the win. Yeah, I agree. Next, ESPN said 2020 is exposing a lot. And I'm glad you said that because you'll see where these numbers come from, right? The most accurate and up-to-date numbers. So thank you for that. Don Ducey says, oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, and still, like I said, 3.7% of men not knowing that they're the father. It should be none, to be perfectly honest with you, but we don't live in a perfect world. It is what it is. You know, it may be small as opposed to 30%, but yeah, that's still 3.7% of men who thought they were raising a kid that was theirs, and it's not true. So, Carl, my man, he says she sounds salty. Yeah, I seen her in another space, and these types of women, like, they act like they're for a conversation, you know, to be neutral, but they have a motive. And I just wish the content creators in these panels would see it, but they never do for some odd reason. So Woquill says King Pookie should be used to show why DNA testing should be mandatory. Absolutely. Carl said her cognitive dissonance is strong. I agree. King, what's good, bro? He says, I remember when a Facebook group host got mad when I posted my papers in a group. She must have been burning or mad. Or I smashed both her friends and not her. Tells me many are offended by being clean. This guy. Okay, we got a lot of comments. We got 81 people in the on the live stream, guys. So we have a lot of comments. I can't get to them all, but please, if you could send those super chats in, and I'll get better at reading the Cash Apps as well if you guys decide to send that. Asaro says the man with 7 children is a minority of black men. He absolutely is, but she was basically trying to say that he represents a large amount of black men that are just running around here not claiming their kids and all that types of foolery. So that's the stuff that some of these women try and do. It's crazy. So we got Jason Ruff in the building. Guys that aren't the father are possibly men who already have children that they already claim legally. Yeah, and you never know. It's so many other things that can come into, you know, play there or whatever, but it's just crazy. See, Jay Daniel says most men will never challenge a paternity because they've been conditioned to not question that. Absolutely. And I agree. And that's one of the main reasons why this happens. Most men don't question paternity, so they don't get tested. And like I said, I would agree with you if you're one of the guys that's saying it would be higher if we had mandatory DNA testing. I agree, right? But as of now, we don't have that. So we don't know. I mean, it is what it is. So the 54% of black men are childless is still a rock solid statistic because there's nothing concrete to say otherwise. Yeah, it absolutely is. And like I said, you guys, you know, when I do these live streams, I try and be as technical as possible. And I gave you guys the adequate margin of error of 4%. With those CDC numbers, the margin of error was less than 2%. So yes, those numbers are absolutely rock solid. They're not going to change. No matter what variables women try and use or, you know, detractors try and use, it doesn't matter because those outliers don't represent the majority. There was also another woman that I was having a conversation with. She was like, well, what about the men that are 50 and older? And what about boys who are 15 and younger? Why they didn't count those numbers of guys who have children? And I tried to explain to her that those numbers are so small and minute, they don't matter in regards to the 15 and 49 reporting tool, right? And she wouldn't accept it. And like I said, I let her go. I blocked her. I don't care. If you're not going to sit there and understand logic, then you got to go. It's that simple. So, like I said, I'm the quickest draw in the land. I do not give people chances for coming on here insulting me or my subscribers. We don't do that here. So the Ramy era says, I've been through this mess before. Wow, man. Let's see here. Yeah, I got to go through these so we can get the show started. Let me see if I can miss anybody. Oh, man, I got to get my man Lando Calrissian in here. What's good, good brother? Julian says, question, if states would have mandatory DNA testing, then what should be done with the test results after? Should the specimen be placed in the federal DNA bank? Are you talking about in regards to, because our DNA is already on file, right? We started collecting that a while back. I don't want to quote the year, but your DNA is on file, right? If you've been to the doctor in the past 30 years, 30, 40 years or so. So yeah, so like I said, I don't want to quote that. But yeah, we're on file. So that could be a good idea, you know, just in case to have it on file to test it. I mean, hey, if that's what you were getting at, right? Instead of having men come back and forth and do other DNA tests, that would be good. Let's see here. Lando said, Roger Spice says, salute to you, brother. Hope all is well. Lando, my man. I like to see people know it. Lando, cool brother. Glacier Don says, what about the men who signed the birth certificate knowing they aren't the father? I mean, that's another variable, right? So yeah, but that's a small percentage. The one thing that's not going to change is women, the number of women who have mothered children, right? And that's currently in the Black community, it's at 61%, right? So I mean, hey, it is what it is. Black Vulcan 21, STI rates are a contradiction between behavior and STI rates. Can't wait until you get into the data. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's see here. KP from KC5, as Black men that's put new policy, all babies will be DNA tested. And as a group, we stand on that. We aren't signing anything until after the DNA. And like I said, I would recommend, this is not, and just to be clear, guys, this whole conversation and live stream is not medical advice or anything like that. It's just for educational purposes only. I want to make that clear. But yeah, I would agree with that. I would love for all Black men to get DNA tests, just because. But some guys are simply scared of how their wives or girlfriends are going to react. I mean, let's be perfectly honest, some guys. But yeah, that's a good message to put out there, KP. Alan Stranger said they're going to stay mad. Stay mad, though, my guy. Ultimately, the fact are for the men so we can understand them and move accordingly. Don't shoulder the blame for something that's not your fault. Yeah, and absolutely. Like I said, I could care less if they don't accept the statistics. I mean, who am I? I don't care. But yeah, so like I said, guys, I had to skip some of the comments, but if you could, please get those super chats and cash apps up so I can see your comment. If it's that important and you want a question answered, that's what I'm here for, right? So let's get into what the hot topics in regards to what's going on with just pearly things and the manosphere. If you guys didn't know, I am not in the Black manosphere. I'm not. Let me explain to you why.
Something that I think is freaking phenomenal. He's taking his own platform to where he's not the star. He's like the master conductor of so many Black men across this digital landscape. Look at the platform that he's built. Look at how it's actually changed the dialogue and communication online. And us giving a lot of Black men an opportunity to be more than they ever thought they could be. I think the man's brilliant.
Did you start the manosphere?
No. The Black sector of the manosphere? No.
The Black sector, right.
No.
Who started it?
Well, so there was two people I felt like as the most instrumental in coming up with like the idea I'll first say, let me give Angry Man his props, because Angry Man is the one that gave it the actual name, the Black Manosphere. But to be honest, in my honest opinion, the Black Manosphere has the most influence from Obsidian Mumia Ami. He is who I believe is the godfather of Black Manosphere 2.0 generation. So,
all right. So who you guys are seeing on your screen, that is the beautiful Courtney Michelle on the left of you, and that is O'Shea Duke Jackson. He is actually explaining the background of the manosphere. So basically what O'Shea said is that the three pillars of the manosphere is Angry Man himself, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and the godfather of the manosphere, he said, would be Obsidian Mumia Ali, right? If you guys are unaware, Obsidian just did a live stream with Just Pearly Things to discuss the issues that the manosphere is having in regards to her comments about Black people and Africans and things of that nature, right? So it just makes sense for Obsidian to be the one to address this issue on behalf of the manosphere to see where they're going to move next, right? So this is coming from one of the pillars, O'Shea Duke Jackson. So we're going to continue it. I just want to let you guys understand that O'Shea is saying that the three pillars are himself, Angry Man, and Obsidian Mumia Ali is the godfather, the real godfather of Manosphere 2.0. This is coming from him. This is not coming from me, right? So let's continue.
he precedes, in my opinion, because he was the first person to saying that, Black men need a voice.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first person that got everybody on the Patreon. He was the first person that he influenced everybody. I would say even Angry Man. Me too, when I first started listening to him in 2015. So he was the first person saying that, Black men wanted to have content for them, they should pay for it. So all of the stuff, Black men need to control their own image. Those things were Obsidian Mumia Ali's talking points. Mm-hmm. Things you further heard, people like Kevin Samuel say, or people like me say.
So there's sex.
So I agree with everything that he said. And I want to say kudos to Obsidian for starting the manosphere and also getting that message out there in regards to Black men having their own space that people have to pay for, right? Everything that O'Shea said, I definitely and absolutely agree with, right? So let's continue.
So tell me about those, because you have the manosphere, but then you have sectors of it. What are those?
The Black manosphere sectors represent, I think, the same sectors you see in the mainstream manosphere. So you have, at least it's not prevalent as it used to be. There was MGTOW, men going their own way. So right. That came out with like our section of Emory, which was like, introspective Black men of reform or something like to that effect. So people like BGS Emory, Black Man, Ram 313, those guys. Then you had your SYSBM, which has kind of come on a little bit more strong, right? Yeah. Which is, Save Yourself Black Man, that's Mad Buzz Driver S. Even though they don't really consider themselves a part of the Black manosphere, they would certainly fall in line with what you would consider the Black sector of the manosphere. You have guys who are in they're another burgeoning group, the Passport Bros. Mm-hmm. So Passport Bros are a part of the manosphere. Guys like, Black Male Travels, the Austin Holloman guy. That's doing pretty good right now. Mm-hmm. The Dennis, I believe is either Jean Pierre or Saint Jean Pierre. Shout out to him. Guys like that. Richie, Zoom to Thailand.
Richie Mack.
Yeah, those guys are the Black sector. Then you have what you would call more or less now another group that's burgeoning, more your elite class guys of the manosphere. I'm talking about more like educated, so the lead attorney guys like that. Mm-hmm. Now these guys they're not necessarily you would say Black manosphere guys because their audience is more broad, but certainly you can identify them as being in the sector. So guys like Mediocre Tourism Reviews, the lead attorney, Dennis Sperling is more or less a real hardcore, Black manosphere kind of guy. Guys like me, so guys who have like a professional school advantage. Even some guys are married, like Brother Gabe A. Pocket Watching with JT, although they don't talk about all the time issues that Black men are going through in relationships, certainly you can identify them as a part of that. Brother Gabe, brother Antoine Wade. So these guys are related to the Black manosphere somewhat indirectly, although their content is not necessarily about what's going on with men and women like me or Kevin Samuels. Their content is certainly more or less about professional stuff like Pocket Watching with JT.
Yeah.
Like that.
Finance.
All right. So basically what O'Shea was explaining was the different sectors of the manosphere, and not just the manosphere. He's talking about manosphere adjacent people that are within the umbrella of the manosphere, but not really manosphere, if that makes sense, right? Because he's going to explain further what it means to actually be a part of the manosphere. And that's why I said, guys, I'm not a part of the manosphere, because the way O'Shea Duke Jackson describes it is something that's different than what I thought. And I see somebody's comment where I think Woke Quill, he just said, I didn't know it got this deep. I thought it was just a nickname for a space in Black YouTube. I thought the same thing, bro. I honestly did, until I saw this interview with Courtney Michelle and O'Shea Duke Jackson breaking it down. So it's actually a hierarchy, and it's actually a little bit of order, possibly, but we're going to discuss that as well. So, and also let me get to the super chat from Big West. Thank you, good brother. He says, Media Man, my dude, I've been slaying with the stats. It's been crickets on my tilt and Facebook. I shouted you out in all my vids. I appreciate that, good brother. And like I said, I do this for y'all. So I want to make sure that you have the information where you can go back and share it. And if they don't accept it, that's on them. It is what it is. But like I said, bro, hey, any super chat that you guys give, man, I never expected to get to this point. But yeah, I'm just so excited when I see that super chat pop up. That's crazy. So thank you for the $10 super chat, Big West. Appreciate that, bro. Let me see who we got here. We got Malik Bridges says, honorable mention to the media, man. I appreciate that, good brother. Good to see you in here from Facebook, man. Thank you for tuning in. So let's continue with O'Shea Duke Jackson explaining the principles of the manosphere, right?
But how does someone get in the manosphere? So how do you divide it where no he is or no he's not?
Okay, so this part is very important, guys. It's very important. Pay attention.
Because if you're Black and you're talking about relationships or
Right.
problems or wanting Black men to do better, do you guys pull them in and say, hey, you know what? I like how you talking. You should be a part of, like, how does that work? How does someone get in the manosphere? How do you differentiate? Yeah, this is manosphere and this is not.
Well, the Black manosphere has never been like regulated, if you will, but it's usually what you would call some sort of stamp of approval. So you would get a guy that we saw participating, even in the conversations, and so one of those guys would have to be brought in. Let's say Obsidian, which is the guy that brought in, our Solo TV84, who's another guy. Shout out to him. He was another guy that don't get enough credit for what he's done for our community. But although he's no longer really associated, and at times I don't like to be associated because of what's going on. But
we're gonna talk about that.
Angry Man, or me. So you would go through our Black Ram 313. So typically those were the 5 points of entry. Or BGS Emory. But usually it would be me. Yeah. Obsidian.
So you're one of the gatekeepers.
Yes, I've always been one of the gatekeepers.
Let's get to Obsidian Mamiya.
Real quick, before we get to excuse me, before we get to this video, did y'all understand what O'Shea was saying? He said basically to be a part of the Black manosphere, it would either have to be him, Angry Man, or Obsidian to actually contact you and bring you into the space and say, hey, you are Black manosphere, right? We want you to be a part of the Black manosphere. That has not happened. I am not in the Black manosphere, guys. Let me explain to you what I'm here for. My goal is to provide context and clarity to these conversations and also serve as a place of reference for men, in particular Black men, when they get jammed up during an argument or a panel show, right? And the reason why I say that, I'm going to explain to you after O'Shea explains how Obsidian Mamiya Ali is involved in the manosphere. Here we go.
Ali, who is one of the 3 founding fathers of the Black manosphere. I give him credit over the other 2 guys, which is myself and Angry Man, as being the real brainchild of the Black manosphere. I think he is the real godfather. If there's somebody who's at the top of the food chain as far as thought processes, it is not me, nor is it anybody else. I believe Obsidian is the original mastermind of the Black manosphere. Other guys like myself, and I'll give a shout out to Angry, he gave it the name, but the idea is more or less it's Obsidian Media Network. He is the person that really influenced this thing to go where it is.
All right, so high praise for Obsidian Mamiya Ali for starting the manosphere. So shouts out to him. This is coming from O'Shea Duke Jackson. So basically we have the standard, right? O'Shea Duke Jackson has deemed Obsidian as the manosphere godfather, right? And also Obsidian, Angry Man, and O'Shea are the pillars of the Black manosphere, not the whole manosphere, because there is a white sector, just the Black manosphere, right? So yeah, so like I said, the whole purpose of those guys starting it, I definitely agree with 100%. But there are some things that I do disagree with. I believe that there is no order in the Black manosphere, and I think O'Shea Duke Jackson alluded to that, right? It's never been any type of, I guess, structure with the manosphere, so it's too easy for people to dip in and dip out, right? Because if you're a part of it, then it has to be some sort of conversation saying, hey, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But it seems like people just leave, or they just start speaking Black manosphere talking points, and they're allowed to maneuver in these spaces, and including how I run my show, right? I talk about some of the same topics that the Black manosphere talks about. However, I'm starting to move away from it because I've already hit the points that I needed to hit. And I'm going to discuss the future of this channel here in a second. But like I said, the reason why I'm here is to provide context and clarity to these conversations. If you guys don't know, you see a lot of Facebook people in here, right? So I've been on Facebook for 5 years. I've only had my YouTube channel for about 15 months, right? So I've been asking questions. I've been sharing content on Facebook to the point where I have 40,000 followers over there, fully monetized page. So I've been in these spaces for a while, just learning, listening, watching, taking notes. So I found a hole in regards to what was needed in these spaces. And that hole was the statistical data, right? And to help you understand what I'm talking about, let me show you this video real quick. Y'all, then you'll understand why I decided to start doing what I do. Here we go.
Single and childless, fully 16, 54% of Black men, single and childless, fully 16% of Black men are responsible for 80% of the kids. And you'd say Black men do this. No, the Black men you fucking make babies with do fuck shit.
Okay, so where are the rest of them?
Not getting fucked and married, not getting married until you have already fucked up your life. Then you want us to come tutor your kids.
No, not all of
That's
us.
what they are.
Okay, so
that's what they are. You don't want to marry the squares, the lames, and everything else until you done shit out Pookie and Ray Ray's bastard ass kids.
No, see, listen. And then y'all also think that being a nice guy is that's the bare minimum. Being a nice person is what you should be. They always say the nice.
Well, then, if that's the bare minimum, what your if that's the bare minimum, if that's the bare minimum, if that's the bare minimum, what is the 16% of these dudes making 80% of the kids?
Well, that has
being a nice guy is the bare minimum. What are they?
Listen to K.
But go ahead.
If the 16% who are making 80% of the kids, they're beneath the guys who are doing the bare minimum, where are they? See, what we do in this community, and it's being shown. That's why I'm so glad there are more Black channels opening up with more Black people having a conversation, men and women are actively talking about, yeah, we say we want the nice guy, but we really want Tupac in the suit. We want Clark Kent and Superman to all be the same dude, and we only come to this realization after we've evacuated our womb with somebody else's kids. We don't come to this realization when we're young, childless, and able to be worked with. We come to you with issues, drama, trauma, and you expect the guy who didn't make those babies to stand in the gap with you. And if you don't, he's a sellout. Bullshit.
So I mean, I'm always say something about this 16 to 80 thing. Like,
they make up these numbers.
I think that's.
So the girl in the middle said they just make up these numbers. Kay is questioning the statistics that Kevin just said, right? So let's continue.
Not necessarily. I don't think that's verified.
I don't care if it's precise. The problem is 30% of Black men are married, 54% are single and childless. We do know that in Memphis, 3 men had 87 children. We do know that. We know that's more. Most men don't have most. What we do know is the things we hear talked about on the panels aren't the men you see every day walking around. No. They're the outliers. They're not the norm.
So let me read this off in regards to what you guys just heard. Both women questioned Kevin Samuels as to the validity of the statistics that he pointed out, right? And Kevin's response was, I don't care, it's verifiable. That's not good enough, guys, right? So this is what happened. Prior to entering these spaces, I sat back and watched the discussions. And one thing I noticed is that Black men would quote a certain statistic, like the 54% of Black men don't have children. But when a Black woman would ask, where'd you get the stat from? And the Black man in question would say Kevin Samuels, right? And then the follow-up question would be, well, where did he get that number from, right? And they'd say either Black demographics or I don't know. Now, I checked Black demographics, and that 54% of Black men without children isn't on there, right? And I don't know, and like I said, Kevin saying, I don't know, that's not a proper response, right? Because that gives them room to question. Does that make sense, right? So if she says, I don't believe that those statistics are true, where did you get that number from? And I say, I don't know, they're just verifiable, right? That's not a good enough answer, right? So, so the way I decided to help Black men was to use my professional and educational background with reading, interpreting, and quantifying statistics and provide videos explaining the process and provide references on these topics. So when a Black man is asked, they can say with confidence that Media Man provided proof of what we're talking about. This is what you guys see on my page right now, right? Now, obviously, I wasn't the first to present this data in these spaces because 54% of Black men not having children was actually right? Kevin was right. And also shout out to BGS Itmore for possibly breaking down these numbers in the past, because there was a few gentlemen who mentioned in the comment section that BGS said that a while ago. However, they have never provided a link, and I couldn't find it readily available on his page. So I've seen guys, after I put out the statistics, they'll say BGS already broke these down. And if he did, like I said, I want to say kudos to him for breaking these numbers down, but they never provide a link saying otherwise. And also, there's so many men that didn't know the actual numbers. So I don't know if that was a older video that BGS put out. I'm not sure, but I'm glad to provide my assistance and break down these numbers for you guys in real time, right? In present day. So you guys can have them right there, right? So in regards to what I plan on doing with this channel. So while I'm out of the country, one of my priorities is to organize my page and create a specific playlist of videos to where you all can access to easily find what you're looking for. Second, my primary goal was to conduct videos and live streams that were important to these spaces and important to me, right? Tonight's live stream concludes my checklist. So like I said, I had a specific list of videos that I wanted to cover, or things that I wanted to cover, and I wanted you guys to have that information. So this is my last one that was on my list, and then I'm going to move forward. So what's next? My next goal is to begin highlighting Black men and women who are doing great things in our community. So I'll be actively searching for men and women like Vandross Idiake. If you guys missed my travel episode on Saturday, special episode, I interviewed a special young Black man, 29 years old, already owns his business, been living in Bulgaria for 10 years. He's an Army veteran. This guy is sharp, right? And it just warmed my heart to have that discussion with that young man and him tell us his experience in regards to living in Bulgaria and also starting his own venture capitalist business, right? So shouts out to him. So that's my next goal, right? I'm going to try and make sure that I promote you all. If you have any skill set that you could, let's say you want to get interviewed or you have a video, you can send that video to me of you, let's say, teaching people how to throw a proper punch if you're into boxing, teaching people how to grapple, teaching people finances, teaching people anything that you are a subject matter expert in. My goal is to take those videos, if you don't have a YouTube channel or not, I want to put them on my page and I want to have you on my show so we can discuss your skill set, so we can provide value to these conversations. There are a lot of intelligent people in these comment sections. I mean, more people that are far more intelligent than me, right? And it would just be a disservice to these spaces if I just relegated you all to just commenting on my videos. No, I want to hear about what you're doing, right? If you're a military member, why don't you give people who are thinking about joining the military some insight in regards to what your day looks like? If I would have started this channel while I was in the military, I absolutely would have did that. So I can give you guys some insight in regards to what I do in the Air Force on a day-to-day basis. You know, of course, things that you can show, right? Get permission from your supervisor, commander, things of that nature. I know how that goes. Don't call me if you get in trouble. Get permission first. But yeah, things of that nature. Or if you're in a job and you want to recruit more people into what you do, I want to see that video, right? I want you on my platform to discuss your experience of being a black man who's a lawyer or a woman who's a nurse practitioner. I want to hear about it. I want to put that on my page so we can give our people and our listeners and our viewers some insight in regards to the nursing world, right? I want to see all that, right? So yeah, so that's one thing. Where did I leave off? My bad. I get off task and start rambling. So next, I'm going to keep my ear to the YouTube streets. And if there's anyone pushing a false narrative about Black men, I'll be here to debunk it, to protect the Black male ethnic image. That's what I'm here for. So if something else comes up in regards to, something like all Black men are deadbeats, right? I debunk that, right? So if something else comes up, I'll be here to do a video on that particular topic or subject, right? Also, I'd like to continue helping women understand men more. And sometimes that may involve critiquing Black women based off of what they say on social media and put out there for public consumption. Guys and ladies in particular, trust and believe. I don't go searching for Black women's content when they doing foolery or something like that, or women in general. I don't search. It's all over the timeline. So it don't take much just to see what I see. And the same thing for men, right? If it's something that men are doing, I'll look at it and I'll make sure that I report on it. I did that in the past. If you guys haven't been here long enough, you would know that I hold men accountable as well. But I just want the ladies to understand, I don't have to look far to find some of the foolery that's going on with our women in today's culture. In particular, if I wanted to, I would sit here and react to Kendra G videos, because there's all kinds of foolery on there, both Black men and Black women. And the funny thing is, Theo Coop is doing an amazing job breaking down those videos, right? So we have a space for that, you know. But like I said, if I wanted to discuss something in particular, then yes, I will bring it on here and I will break it down. But it will always be fair. It will always be respectful. You will never see me cursing anybody out. That's not what we do here on this page, right? But I'm going to be logical and respectful, you know, and just provide the facts and statistics. I don't care about feelings. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm just talking about what's actually said and what the numbers actually say, right? And lastly, I like to cover more topics that focus on travel, fitness, nutrition, health, to include mental health, and topics that help Black men become refined gentlemen. Not harmless men, but refined, which includes learning how to defend yourselves, right? How to handle and shoot a firearm, how to carry yourselves in professional spaces, your wardrobe, hygiene, etc., right? We have some firearm enthusiasts in our comment section. I'm going to be tapping those guys to send me their videos explaining to the group, to my subscribers, how to clean, maintain, handle, fire everything, fire a firearm, fire their weapon. That's what I want to do. I could do it myself, but I want to leave it out there for you guys. If you guys don't know, I'm at the gun range every week. You have to know how to handle a firearm, guys. You have to know how to throw a proper punch. You have to know these things as men. Not saying that you're going to need it. You're going to be using it every day like some sort of kung fu movie. No, but you need to have those skills readily available, because as you guys see with this most recent school shooting, having these skills is necessary. And it's sad to say, but it's true, right? So I want to make sure that I highlight these people who are firearm enthusiasts, and I can get your videos, put them on my channel, do a live stream, show you guys a video, and then have that gentleman or that woman on there to explain what they're doing and how to handle a firearm properly, right? So these are things that I want to bring to these spaces. So also, there's a bunch of men's style content creators that I admire. So along with what I add, I'll point you in the right directions over to their pages as well. All of this will be done in a respectful manner, non-profanity laced manner. And I may slip up from time to time and drop a curse word, but I'll try my best not to string a whole sentence of curse words along, because obviously I still need some refinement as well, right? I was in the military for 20 years. Yes, I did develop a potty mouth. However, speaking in front of thousands of people, it's not conducive to that environment. So I had to wean myself from using certain phrases in public spaces, right? So yes, I may slip up here and there, but I'm still working on myself. What women say, I'm what is it? I'm working on myself. That's what women say when they're trying to act like they doing some improvement, but I'm just playing. Oh my goodness. So, and also, I wanted to touch on this. So hopefully that made sense. So before I get to this other section, I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand the trajectory of my platform. And like I said, if anything else is said and just out of, you know, in regards to, you know, something looking negative on Black men and also Black women, I'm here for that as well. But my primary purpose is to protect the Black male ethnic image, because we've been getting hit on the head for damn near 50, 60 years. And I'm glad that I have a platform to debunk all these false narratives about Black men. So yeah, so I will be here for that. But like I said, just digging at a group of people, that's not my lane. It's not my lane at all, right? So yeah, and I hope you guys understand that. So let me get to some of these comment sections before we get started. Man, we got Cubert Rame with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, good brother. He says, keep up the great work, King. Thank you, good brother. I appreciate that, bro. Damn, y'all showed out. I seen some more up there. I think it's from my man Kevin C from Honduras with the Honduras 60. He says, Media Man, ambassador of the quantitative data, quantitative analysis. Appreciate that, brother. Always showing out with that heavy hand, man. Let's see, Kevin C, super sticker. Appreciate that with the 150 Honduran currency super sticker. Appreciate that, good brother. Always good to see you here. Vanessa, love to see Vanessa here from Facebook. The manosphere started with white men, but glad to see Black men have content to show positive content for men. Know your worth, kings. Absolutely. Like I said, the manosphere was, started as a white group space, and then the black manosphere was developed by Obsidian Mumia Ali, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and also Angry Man, right? And that's coming from the words of O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? Lord Love Smith says O'Shea is fake as hell. I'm familiar with his content. I've seen some of his videos. I don't know him like that to have an opinion. You may know him better than me. Mona said, "Thank you for your heavy hand, Kevin." See, yeah, Kevin always supporting your boy, man. Damn, I gotta make sure I reward Kevin. But I do have a trivia for you guys. I'm gonna start giving away, doing these trivia giveaways on my page every live stream. So after this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show this picture, and if you guys can, if you can get the right answer or guess the right answer where I took this picture during my travels or where was I at, then I'll cash app you $5 right now, right? So Rod says, "Damn, I really didn't think it was that serious." Yeah, man, it goes deep. The black manosphere goes deep. I didn't know all of this until O'Shea Duke Jackson broke it down, right? Woke Quill KS used to snap on Lapeef. Yeah, he has some, if you guys don't know, he has some great content over there where he was teaching. And most people are unaware of that, but yeah, he had class in session a couple times over there. Marcus said, "We need as many voices that exist. As time go on, we will find those who have the best interests of their race." Absolutely. And pretty much that's what I'm here for, man. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Let's see. Jason Ruff said 20-80 rule happens in nature all the time. It does. Absolutely. Y'all got to watch the Nature Channel. I think they did that. It was on the Lions episode, and they were explaining that, or maybe it was the apes or something like that. But yeah, I've heard that before. Good on you, brother. Blood Crow 1698 says both these women are supposed to be educated. It's funny. Roger Spice, "I wouldn't ask her to be smart enough or honest enough. I will choose other women." Absolutely. And like I said, Kevin made his way in all spaces, right? And that was just a platform where he decided to educate those young women, even if it didn't reach them or not. He was there, right? And Rod says, "Got to cite them sources, fellas." Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm here. You guys have no idea how many messages I get from people on Instagram and Facebook when they're in an argument or a discussion and somebody brings up the false narrative that black men are deadbeats. They'll tag me and say, "Media Men already broke these numbers down," right? And then I'll see it and I'll immediately post a YouTube link under that. And let's be honest, that young woman's comment. And after that, I don't get a response. I wonder why. Blood Crow says, "I thought those numbers came from the CDC, did they?" Yeah, they did. Hopefully you got that from what I said. Like I said, the black demographics, I didn't see them on there, and that's where I heard a lot of people saying those numbers on black demographics. I didn't see that. The only number that you can use in regards to black men being single per se, I would say would be the black men that are never married, and that's at 52%. On blackdemographics.com, there are 52% of black men who are single and not married. It says that right there on the screen. So if you say, yeah, because there's 52% of black men that are single, and then you follow that up with, and 54% of black men are childless, right? Because there are some married people out there that don't have kids, guys. So yes, so you can cite those numbers and that will be accurate. And you can say Media Man has the statistics from the CDC, and also Black Demographics has the statistics as well, right? So that will be a more accurate way to explain your ideology, right? It's not an ideology, it's fact. So I got that one. Sorry, got that one. Got that one. Okay. Pooh Man says, "I watched this one live." Yeah, I think I watched a little bit of it. Let's see. Don says, "I'm rocking with Media Man heavy." That man got knowledge. Appreciate that, good brother. Like I said, I'm always learning. I'm too dumb to be closed-minded, guys. I'm always learning, just like everyone should. Let's see here. Blood. Okay. It was, he left the CDC's PDF. Okay, cool. Glad y'all letting everybody know. Let's see here. Okay, I got to speed through these. And guys, try and get those super chats up and Cash Apps. I'm gonna check Cash App here in a second. So C Gully says, good to see you here. There's an officially recognized channel of the Black Manosphere. Check Black men being brutally honest. Oh, I will. Okay, I definitely will. Appreciate it. C says I'm 10 minutes behind the live stream. You good, bro? We haven't even got to the STI and STD statistics. Oh wait, I missed one. Royce J says I've been around the space since Thugtician and Devin the comic days. See, I'm fairly new. Like I said, I've only been here for 5 years. So if you have some insight and that's somebody that I need to research, I definitely will, bro. Thank you. Let's see. It says I'm Hotep. Good to see you here, brother. He says, stop saying you are not taking shots at Black women. This should be understood. You have nothing to prove. Bro, it's just how I run my page, bro. I have to preface it with that. So it's nothing that, is going to hurt me or hurt them. It's just to preface that. And you know how people take these comments. Everything is considered bashing, right? We all know how this works. So, it is what it is. Let's see here. Will Quill, okay, got you. Yeah, Medium Man did say where he got the numbers. KS did state where his numbers came from, though. Okay, I got to speed through these. Oh, man, we got the man in the building. He said, damn, 95 in the chat. I remember when there was only 5 of us in here. Salute, man. Working on tomorrow's show. I'm ninja watching. Hit the like button. And I hope you heard me, man. You left me hanging this morning. I was waiting on a live stream while I was at work, and there wasn't no Theo. You know what I'm saying? So what up with that, bro? Nah, I was just messing with you. I'll be there tomorrow. Okay, let me get through these. Okay, we got Maddox. My bad, bro. Maddox 12 says, check out the Black Brain Trust. I get on there every now and then. I definitely will. Let me start that one. I started the other one as well. Appreciate it. Oh, man, Maddox says we got 126 likes. Hey, you guys don't know. I just learned from YouTube University that the likes are the ones that drive the content. So yeah, if you could please, when you're coming in and out, just make sure you hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it, right? Okay, so we took care of all the business. So let's get to herpes. I'm just messing with you. We're going to start with HIV. We get to herpes right after that. I know that's crazy. Y'all like, what? Herpes? Yeah, we're going to definitely get into it. Hold on one second. So let me see here. I want to open this stuff up for you guys so we get started. How's everybody doing tonight, man? It's packed up in here. I know that. You know what? I will start with herpes. Oh man, that's where we gonna start. Let me make sure I got everything. Yep. Hey, when you guys use like your iPhone, does it like skip sometimes? My iPhone it's not old. I think it's last year's version. But yeah, it's like skipping for some odd reason. I don't know why. But it is what it is. So let's start off with, let me see here. I want to bring everything up for you guys so we can have it. One second. I got to get these accurate numbers. So, like I said, we're going to start with herpes. I know it sounds crazy for me to say, but I want to let you guys listen to an interview. This was done on NPR, and it was in regards to the CDC's genital herpes among Black women high, right? So we're going to start here, and then we'll move forward. So the new report came out from the CDC Control and Prevention, says Black women have the highest rates of herpes infection at 48%. Nationally, about 16% of Americans between the ages of 14 and 49 are infected with genital herpes. Hilda Hutcherson, clinical professor of gynecology at Columbia University, she offers her insight, right? So NPR did an interview with the Professor Hutcherson, and she's going to explain in regards to what she's talking about, right? So here we go. Let me bring that up. Cool.
This week from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The federal agency reported that 48% of black women between the ages of 14 and 49 have herpes simplex virus type 2, or HSV2 as it's called. Overall, blacks and women were much more likely to be infected. The prevalence among all women was almost 21% compared to 11% for all men. 39% of blacks were infected compared with roughly 12% of whites. For more on this, we turn to Dr. Hilda Hutcherson. She's the clinical professor of obstetrics and gynecology at Columbia University, and she joins us from New York. Welcome, doctor.
So before we start, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what's going to happen here. So they're going to have a quick 4-minute discussion in regards to the herpes statistics in regards to black women. The professor is going to answer some questions, and then they're going to move on. It's going to be very simple, but pay attention to the questions that she's asking, right? Here we go.
Thank you. What explains the very high rate of infection for women overall, but for black women in particular?
Well, for all sexually transmitted infections, it's much easier for women to become infected. And that's because our tissues are very delicate. And that makes it easier for bacteria and viruses to then be transmitted to women.
Now, that explains the higher rate overall for women, but why is the rate so much higher for African American women?
Well, I think what has happened over the years is we have developed this increased incidence of this virus, and then once the virus is within your community, it makes it much more easily transmitted and for those numbers to increase for African American women. So I think that the way to reverse this, which is what we want to do, is to break that cycle by educating younger people, and over time our overall incidence and prevalence will decrease.
It has been suggested that one factor that might help explain the high rate among African American women is the high rate of women who have never been married. Just over 40% of black women have never been married, which means that they may, over their lifetime, have more sexual partners, which may make them more vulnerable.
I don't think that there's any evidence that there's more promiscuous behavior or that we have a significant number of sexual partners over a lifetime. So I would not agree that that is the case. I do think that...
So let me stop right there. So that was the most important question. So the interviewer asked her, do you think black women not being married at such a high percentage has something to do with the increase of herpes simplex virus 2, right? And the professor, she disagreed, right? But there is a strong correlation with that. And I will say that right now. The more, because let's just look at it logically for a second, right? So if you're married, chances are, for the most part, you're going to be monogamous to one person. Doesn't always happen. It is what it is. However, if you're unmarried and you're single and you're out on the dating market and you're having multiple partners, that gives you a chance, a higher percentage chance of being infected by an STI. Remember, one partner as opposed to 2, 3, 5, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there could be a correlation with that. And also, I want you guys to understand something in regards to herpes simplex virus 2. Herpes simplex virus 2 is the growing area, right? That's the one that you consider the growing area. Herpes simplex virus 1 is the bumps that you see people get on their lips. That's one. That's the oral. Now, if somebody has oral HSV1, they can transmit that to your genitals, therefore making you have HSV2, right? Does that make sense? And also, another fun fact is that men are more susceptible and tend to carry herpes, right? But as you guys just heard, Black women have a higher rate of herpes than Black men. Do you guys know why that is? It's because of the fact that the majority of Black women are having sex with the same men, right? So if listen to this may sound like Resident Evil, but if men tend to be the carriers of herpes, right? But Black women have a higher herpes rate, then what does that tell you? That means that our women are having sex with a small minority of men, which basically proves what I've been saying in regards to the children at a wedlock rates, the birth rates, things of that nature, or what you guys have been saying in these comments, right? So that's what that means, right? So again, I want to reiterate so everybody understands. When you have men who are the most who carry herpes the most, but our women have a higher herpes rate than our Black men, then that just means that they're having sex with the same guys, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So let's continue.
True. Unfortunately, with herpes and some other sexually transmitted infections, there may be no symptoms. And so people may not be aware. In fact, most people are not aware that they do have the virus. And of course, if you're not aware that you have it and you don't practice safe sex, then it becomes easy for you to transmit it to someone else.
What are the long-term implications of herpes?
Well, we know that when you're infected with herpes, you increase the risk that you would get HIV if you have unprotected sex with someone who has that virus as well. And for that reason alone, it is important for us to look at this as a significant public health issue and see what we can do to stop this trend.
Help me understand how your patients react when they learn that they have herpes.
Women are devastated. I mean, think of this. It is a virus infection. It is a lifelong infection. There's no cure for it. And it's something that's difficult to talk to your partners about.
Dr. Hutcherson, thank you very much for taking time to talk to us.
It's my pleasure.
That's Dr. Hilda Hutcherson. She's the clinical professor of obstetrics and gynecology at Columbia University.
Okay, and that was a great interview. So you guys see the importance of having this discussion, right? Herpes is uncurable, right? There is no cure for herpes. You can only suppress it. And we're going to go into these slides here in a second. But first, let me get to the super chat. We got I am DPP, discipline, prioritize, and purpose. I like that name. Stop having so many different sexual partners without requiring an STD test. It's just as simple. Stop treating sex like a sport. Find a new hobby. Learn self-respect. Absolutely. Nothing but facts, good brother. Y'all got to be adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be a surprise or a shock for you to ask somebody that you plan on having sex with, hey, what was the last time you got tested? Do you have your results? If you go to the hospital regularly, you're going to have your STI results. I get my STI panels done every time I go visit the hospital two times a year, right? So in April, I visit the hospital, and then in September, I have my annual as well. And I always get checkups, even though I'm in a monogamous relationship, but I still get tested just in case, right? So yeah, you never know. Got another super chat. Ronald White, the doctor's lying when approached with the question of Black women promiscuity. Another lost female, irregardless of accountability. Yeah, like I said, I mean, sometimes you have to expect these things because let me give you guys an example. So let me explain something in regards to these spaces. So for the most part, everyone is going to get offended when it's something, when we're talking about something that directly affects them. And I've even seen it with Black men, right? I just talked about me putting out the not the father statistics, and there was a lot of Black men in the comments that were upset that it wasn't higher, but I had to put things into context and explain why that is and what the effects that it does if the number is higher, right? Same thing with women. When something like when we start to talk about single mothers, right? Single mothers, you know, having multiple kids and how it's harder on the dating market. If you're a Black single mother, you're going to get pissed off that we're saying that you have less options than a woman who doesn't have children, unless you understand that, hey, this is something that you need to hear. This is something that you need to understand, and you need to act accordingly, right? But for the most part, that rarely happens. But I agree with you, you know, about her answer, and she just dismissed it. But there is some validity to that, in my opinion. There is. The more partners that you have, and this is just not for Black women, this is for all women, right? So in this whole dating market that we have now, women, I mean, marriage is not, you know, required for sex. So of course, all women are going to have higher STI rates. And of course, that's why I'm here. I have the statistics for everyone. This is not just for Black people. This is for all of us, right? Oh man, we got a 1999 super chat from Roderick Jackson. Man, I appreciate that, bro. Damn, let me star that. That's the highest to date. Appreciate that, good brother. Thank you, man. No, I'm gonna steal this from the lead attorney. He says, no comments, no questions, just a pure love for the game. I like that. Shout out to the lead attorney. And then Mona D says, hey, sister. Okay, cool. We got everybody in here. Let's see here. Prime VA 757 is weird seeing Black men go against their own interests to cape for women. I mean, it happens, bro. I mean, Chelsea is live line. Everybody congratulate Chelsea is live line. She just got fully monetized on her page. So go ahead and put some champagne bottles and some fireworks in the comment section and congratulate her on that. Kudos to you if you get that page monetized. Feels good, don't it? I know how I felt when I got monetized. Said LOL yum. What you whipping up, sis? That's funny. Oh, who cooking over here? Let me see. Wait, hold on. Some good old turkey, spinach, and Parmesan meatballs. Oh, Mona, you doing it like that? Hey, you might want to put some of them videos out because I don't know if you've seen that. What's the girl's name? Shinsia, the Jamaican pop star. She posted her video of her cooking that oxtail pasta. She got so many views on that, and it's mostly men. I shared it, so we like seeing that. So yeah, you should put that on your page. Some cooking. Did I miss? I think I missed a big one. My bad, bro. Let me go back. Just a comment. It says that and more. Don't forget about their hedonistic girls trip, sipping paint, and whatever else with random new male strippers. Wow, I seen that that live stream from who is it? Beautiful Lies, where he linked Obsidian's video. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I shouldn't, but but yeah, I heard some crazy things about that bamboo trip or whatever. Let's see here. All right, so let's get back to it. Let me open up these slides. So let's continue. So here we go. Let me read this off for you guys as a disclaimer. So this page presents preliminary STD survey data for chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and congenital syphilis. These data sets include cases reported to the CDC through the National Notifiable Disease Surveillance System as of July 7th, 2022, STD Surveillance Network as of July 15th, 2022, and gonococcal Isolate Survey Project as of June 23rd, 2022, and are considered preliminary as 2021 STD survey data will continue to be reported through CDC to the CDC through the fall of 2022. So these are the most accurate numbers that we have out right now. Okay, just putting that out there, and that's a disclaimer. If we have any detractors that are trying to dismiss the numbers, these are the most current. This is the most current data. So, since we're talking about genital herpes, as you guys know, like I said, it's a common STD. Most people with genital herpes infection do not know that they have it. That's a key factor in regards to what we're talking about. Most people don't know that they have herpes because sometimes you do not have an outbreak and people don't get tested for that. So most times when you go to your doctor and you ask them for an STI panel, they're pretty much going to give you HPV, human papillomavirus test. They're going to give you chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, right? They're and HIV. I'm sorry, but they're not going to add herpes in there, HSV 1 and 2. So you have to ask for that, right? So make sure when you go to your next doctor's visit, ask them to put that panel in as well, so you can get that tested as well. So, as you guys know, if you're sexually active, you can get genital herpes. Very simple. And also, what is genital herpes? It's a STD caused by two types of viruses, herpes simplex virus type 1, type 2. And we just talked about that. And then HSV1 often causes oral herpes, which can result in cold sores, fevers, or blisters around the mouth. However, most people with oral herpes do not have any symptoms. Most people with oral herpes get it during childhood or young adulthood from non-contact saliva from people, right? Or my bad, non-sexual contact with saliva, right? So you can get that by kissing. Let's continue. All right, and I just put it in question form, so you guys, just in case you had questions, I wanted to put it in there like that. So, is there a link between the genital herpes and oral herpes? Like I stated before, yes. Oral herpes caused by HSV1 can spread from the mouth to the genitals through oral sex. This is why some cases of genital herpes are due to HSV1. That's a key point in regards to this topic. Most people think that if I have oral herpes, then I can't get genital herpes, and that's untrue. If you have oral herpes, right, and you don't know, you don't have any symptoms, and you give somebody oral sex, you can pass your non-symptom asymptomatic, I'm sorry, HSV1 to the genitals, to somebody that is unsuspecting. But that's why I say you guys have to get tested. You have to, right? Because most people don't even know that they have herpes, right? So let's continue. And how common is genital herpes? Genital herpes is common in the United States. In 2018, CDC estimates show there were 572,000 new genital herpes infections in the United States among people aged 14 to 49, right? Did y'all hear that number? 572,000. Them condoms started to look good, right? Let's continue. All right, and you already went through this. How is genital herpes spread? You can get genital herpes by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has infection. You can get herpes if you have contact with a herpes sore, especially if you see one. If you see a herpes sore, that means do not go into that thing or do not have sex with that, that penis, right? Very simple. Anything that looks suspicious, you got to walk away. So saliva from a partner with oral herpes infection, genital fluids from a partner with genital herpes infection, skin in the oral area of a partner with oral herpes, or skin in the genital area of a partner with genital herpes. I put all this stuff in here, guys, to encourage you to get tested, to get your partners tested, because this is more common than you think, right? So yeah, let's continue. You can also get genital herpes from a sex partner who does not have a visible sore or is unaware of their infection. It is also possible to get genital herpes if you receive oral sex from a partner with oral herpes. I discussed that. Let me dispel a rumor. You will not get herpes from toilet seats, bedding, or swimming pools. You also will not get it from touching objects such as silverware, soap, or towels. There were some questions. I remember when I was in a course, and there were a lot of people asking those exact questions. So I had to put that in there for context and clarity, right? You cannot get it from those things. So But the whole purpose is to encourage safe sex and also to get tested. Even if you think that you're in a monogamous relationship, you need to get tested for your own safety. And also tell your partner to go with you, right? And I don't know if you guys know this. I put a video out there a while back where I showed me and my fiance in the hospital getting tested at the same time. I'm actually posted on my community tab, right? So we get tested. Like I said, I mean, I'm more used to this stuff because I work in the medical field, but I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing, right? And look. X-Men Prime said, this frightened me. I'm not trying to scare you, man. I'm just trying to encourage prevention. So that's all it is, man. But it can be alarming. I guarantee you that. And you guys, honestly, y'all are getting off good. Because if it was up to me, where's my book at? Damn it. So I have many books of the most worst cases of these STIs and STDs. So if I could, I would have put all types of pictures on here for y'all to see. But y'all got off lucky. So you better be glad YouTube kind of blocks that stuff. But when I was going through school, I had to look at everything. So so y'all got off easy. So real quick, how do I know if I have genital herpes? Most people with herpes have no symptoms, as I stated before. They have very mild symptoms. They go unnoticed, maybe mistaken for skin conditions like a pimple or ingrown hair, right? I'll tell you guys a story. When I was a medic, when I was in the military, when I was deployed to Balad Air Base, Iraq. This was in 2010. I used to work with an Army guy, and he knew I was a public health guy, and he had just got back from the gym or something like that, and he was like, "Hey, man, I need a favor," right? And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he was like, "Man, I need you to look at something." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Man, I got this bump on my penis, right? I'm a professional, but this was my friend, so of course we started laughing or whatever." And I was like, "Dude," I was like, "What the hell you been doing out here?" Right? So he came into my office and he showed me, right? And I was like, "Man, it looks like an ingrown hair. You need to go get that checked out, and you also need to get tested." So that's what typically happens when you go see the doc. If you have a sore in your genital area, you're going to go to the doctor. You show the doc, he'll look at it or she'll look at it, and she'll say, "Oh, it looks like this," or maybe herpes, but we want to get tested just to confirm. So that's what's going to happen. Never go to a doc where if you have like a pimple or a sore on your genital area and they say, "Oh, that's just a pimple or whatever," right? Nah, request that you get tested just to make sure, right? Let's continue. So herpes sores usually appear as one or more blisters around the genitals, rectum, or mouth. This is known as having an outbreak. The blisters break and leave painful sores that may take a week or more to heal. Flu-like symptoms, fever, body ache, swollen glands also may occur during the first outbreak. So let's discuss that real quick, right? So if I could share the pictures, I will show you guys, but I can't. So it's like a cluster of pimples that you'll see in your genitalia area, right? And also what happens, they'll break, they'll have clear liquid that comes out of those pustules, right? Those pimple-like pustules. So when that happens, that means that's where you're the most contagious. You should not be having sex with anyone if you have an outbreak. Also, one of the symptoms that you may feel is like in your genitalia area, it's like a scratch that you can't, itch, right? You'll look, down there and you'll be itching and you'll try and scratch, but you can't get to it because herpes affects the nervous system, right? So that's why it's uncurable because you can't use antibiotics, you can't use antivirals, medication, things of that nature, because it's in the nervous system, right? So you may feel a little bit of tingling down there, and that means that may be a sign that you may have herpes and you need to get tested. You guys will notice a trend here. Every time I talk about this stuff, I'm going to say, go get tested. Go get tested, right? So yeah, and they're also, and we're going to discuss some suppression methods as well. So let's continue. So, and also, once again, Ask a healthcare provider to examine you if you notice any symptoms. Your partner has an STD or symptoms of an STD, right? It's going to continue. Oops. So, how can I prevent genital herpes? The only way to completely avoid STDs is to not have vaginal, anal, or oral sex. Hey guys, abstinence is key. But we live in today's society. I cannot sit here in good faith and tell you that everybody is going to practice abstinence and not have sex, right? So, of course, abstinence is the first thing. If you want to prevent yourself from getting STDs, don't have sex, right? But we all know that's probably not going to happen, right? So, yeah. So, if you are sexually active, you can do the following to lower your chances of getting genital herpes. Being in a long-term mutually monogamous relationship with a partner who does not have herpes, we discussed that. Using condoms the right way every time you have sex. I'm gonna have to do a video on how to properly put on a condom. You guys would have you'd have no idea how many grown men don't know how to put on a condom, right? The proper way. There is a method to it. Yes, we got taught on that. When I was going through public health tech school, when I was in the military, they taught us how to properly put on a condom. It's literally like a 10-step process or whatever. But yeah, so we'll definitely discuss that, right? Don't be ashamed to click on that video once I put this video out to show you how to properly put on the condom. I'm doing it for your safety, right? And no, I will not be the model to do that. So pause. All right. Be aware that not all herpes sores occur in the areas that a condom can cover. Skin can release the virus shed from areas that do not have a visible herpes sore. For these reasons, condoms may not be fully protect you from getting herpes. So that's a key line right there, right? So when, let's say you want to have sexual intercourse with a person who has herpes, right? But they're not experiencing an outbreak. Just know that you're still taking a risk of contracting herpes if you do that, even with the condom, because like the CDC stated, the condom doesn't cover all areas where herpes can exist. So even if you have sex with a condom with a person who has herpes, you can still possibly contract the virus, right? I just want to be clear on that. Condoms will not fully protect you from contracting herpes, right? I wanted to say that again. I need to say it one more time. Condoms won't protect you, fully protect you from catching herpes. All right. I wanted to reiterate that. Sorry, guys. If I'm overdoing it, let me know. Okay, here we go. So if your sex partners have genital herpes, you can lower your risk of getting it if your partner takes anti-herpes medication every day. This is something your partner should discuss with his or her healthcare provider. You avoid having vaginal, anal, or oral sex when your partner has herpes symptoms, i.e. during the outbreak. I just discussed that. Is there a cure for genital herpes? There is no cure for genital herpes. There are medicines that can prevent or shorten outbreaks. A daily anti-herpes medicine can make it less likely to pass the infection to your sex partner or partners, right? So I wanted to be clear on this one. This is uncurable. It's that simple, guys. Once you catch it, that's what it is. We haven't developed anything to combat herpes just yet, just to suppress it. I talked about that earlier in the PowerPoint, right? So yeah. So let me stop right there. And then also, I got the Black statistics. Here we go. So, genital herpes, Black community facts. Again, Black women have the highest rates of herpes infection at 48%. Nationally, about 16% of Americans between the ages of 14 and 49 are infected with genital herpes. Overall, Blacks and women were much more likely to be infected. The prevalence rate of all women was almost 21% compared to 11% for all men. 39% of blacks were infected compared roughly to 12% of whites. As I stated, this is not an adversarial conversation. This is to point out the fact that the black community as a whole is doing a piss poor job in regards to protecting themselves from these diseases, right? So take from that whatever you will, but we need to do better. That is the bottom line, right? I'm pretty sure you guys will agree. So before we move on to HIV, let me get to some of these comments. Hopefully that was very informative for you guys about herpes. We're going to go through the big five, and I'm going to try and speed it up so I won't keep you guys here that long, but this is very important. So I want to take my time as much as I can. Try and get it done within 3 hours. Let me go back up. I missed some super chats. I'm sorry. Okay, Ronald White with the $5 super chat. Oh, man, I appreciate that. I got that one. Sorry, but we can say it again. The doctor is lying when approached with the question of black women promiscuity. Another lost female, regardless of accountability. I mean, it is what it is. I got to, let's see here. Okay, got another one. Ronald White says, but she is supposed to have a Hippocratic oath to solve health issues. How can she do this by lying? That is perpetuating the problem. I agree, bro. I agree. That's why I pointed that out. And I stopped right there just to make that point. So you are absolutely spot on. That was rather disingenuous, I might add. Man, Maddox, he said almost 150 likes. Wow. Y'all showing out for your boy, man. I appreciate that. And like I said, this is an educational live stream and you guys showing out. Oh, man, this feels good. Appreciate it. Let me see here. We got D in the building with the $5 super chat. NBA YoungBoy has herpes documented. Wow. And women still line up for him. That's crazy. I did not know that, bro. NBA YoungBoy has like 12 kids by, multiple baby mamas. So, sheesh. Okay. Chelsea is live line with the $5 super chat. Man, I appreciate that. I need to donate to yours. The next time you have a live, I got you. Let's see. Thank you for all this good data. I appreciate it. Man, I do this for y'all, so thank you. Ronald White said the doctor is tap dancing around the question. The doctor is lying again, avoiding opportunity for accountability. Again, I agree, bro. Let me see here. Let's see if I'm okay. I got it. Nitty77 with the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate that, good brother. Says, I'm a new support. Hey, bro, I'm a new supporter. I love your show and how you break down the statistics. I appreciate that, bro. All the support, man. Y'all hooking your boy up. Thank you, man. Let's see here. Who said Cuba Rames says, sweet baby Jesus? How's black men's herpes rates? I have something for you all. I'll break that down. I'm actually going to put it on my community tab specifically for black men because I want you guys to keep this info, right? I got something for it. Don't worry. Let's see here. Did I get everything? Oh, Rod says, I'm thankful that I was taught this information in middle school. Absolutely, bro. And some schools don't teach this stuff. Yeah, I'm a public health professional. So I know that there are some school systems in certain regions that don't teach this stuff to their kids. And it's insane to me. Look at Carl. This dude. Man, you the reason why I'm reporting. Don't he said, slow down. What's a condom, sir? Oh, man. Raw above all, Carl. That's what you're doing out there? Oh, man. So let's go back to the statistics. And we're going to start with one quick slide here I want you guys to see. So preliminary data show 2.5 million reported cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis in 2021. 2.5 million cases, guys. So this is prevalent in our community. That's crazy. So before we get to, let me see here. Let me pull that off real quick. I want to get to the HIV, get the big ones first. Let's watch a video from the good doctor SG Doctor Wellness. I like this guy. If you guys haven't heard of him, he has a new channel, has almost 50,000 subscribers, but he is spot on in regards to his breakdown of HIV. I felt it was necessary to break it down like this first and let him cook, and then we can move on to the stats. So here we go.
Where did HIV come from? Interestingly, HIV infection in humans is believed to have came from a type of chimpanzee living in Central Africa. The chimpanzee version of the virus was probably passed to humans when humans hunted these chimpanzees for meat and came into contact with their blood. Studies showed that this transmission from chimpanzee to humans likely happened in the late 1800s. Over decades, HIV slowly spread across Africa and later into the rest of the world. When someone catches HIV, the virus attacks and destroys a particular type of lymphocyte cells, which is a crucial part of our immune system called CD4 T lymphocytes. The loss of CD4 cells makes it difficult for our body to fight off infections and even certain cancers. As a result, the patients are prone to getting all sorts of infections and even cancers, which can be potentially fatal. The good news, however, is that there are treatments available now to suppress the HIV virus within our body. HIV is a virus that spreads through contact with the blood, semen, pre-seminal fluid, rectal fluids, vaginal fluids, or breast milk of a person with HIV. In the United States, HIV is spread mainly by having anal or vaginal sex or sharing needles and injectables with a person who has HIV. In Singapore, sexual intercourse remains the main mode of HIV transmission, accounting for 95% of all reported HIV cases in 2020. Other modes of transmission can be from mother to child during pregnancy, delivery, or even breastfeeding. HIV cannot be transmitted by saliva, tears, or sweat or kissing, sharing water and food with a HIV patient, nor casual physical contact like shaking hands or hugging. You cannot also get HIV by coming into contact with objects such as dishes, toilet seats, or doorknobs used by a person with HIV. HIV is not spread through the air or water or by insect bites. Now, what symptoms may you experience if you have HIV? Before I answer that question, you have to understand first that HIV infection happens in 3 stages. Stage 1 is what we call an acute infection. In this acute infection, which can take place roughly within a month of exposure to the virus, patients may experience flu-like symptoms such as fever and chills, body ache and headache with fatigue, night sweats, rash, mouth ulcers, sore throat, and even swollen lymph nodes. Essentially, many other viruses can cause the same symptoms. But if you suspect that you may have been exposed to HIV recently, please see a healthcare worker to get it checked. Stage 1 symptoms may last for a few days to a few weeks, and some people may even pass through stage 1 without any noticeable symptoms. Stage 2 would be chronic HIV infection. The HIV virus remains dormant within your body and you may not have any symptoms. However,
all right, so I think the video skipped for some odd reason, but stage 3 is that's where AIDS starts, right? So yeah, so I just wanted to put that in there just in case. I believe the video skipped it, but that's where AIDS starts. So here we go.
You are still infectious and you can therefore spread it to others. This stage may last for about a decade or so before you progress to stage 3. Patients who are on treatment for HIV may remain in stage 2 and never progress to stage 3. In general, testing for HIV can be done via samples taken from the vein and sent to the lab, finger prick rapid test kits, or oral saliva test kits. 3 types of tests that we can do would be, first of all, a nucleic acid test, or NAT for short. A NAT test looks for the actual virus in the blood. It can diagnose HIV as early as 10 days after you've been exposed. Blood is drawn from the vein and the results may take weeks to be available.
All right. You guys still with me? Like I said, some of this stuff may seem mundane, but this information is invaluable. Like it's important. So I wanted to make sure I let the good doctor cook, you know what I'm saying, so he can get all this information out there. But just stay with me. I promise, guys, we're going to move on. but I have a bunch of statistics that I want to read to you guys once Dr. Wellness gets done, right? So stay with me.
It is generally not used as a routine screening test as it is very expensive, and in Singapore, it may cost up to $600 for a test. However, it may be useful if other tests are indeterminate. Secondly, a HIV antibody testing. This test looks for antibodies to HIV in your blood or oral fluid. Antibodies are produced by your immune system after you've been exposed to the HIV virus. The test usually turns positive within 4 to 8 weeks of an infection. Presence of antibody indicates presence of HIV virus. So venous sampling, finger prick testing, and oral saliva testings are all available for HIV antibody tests. The third method is a HIV antibody and antigen combination test. This test checks for a particular P24 antigen that is produced by the HIV virus that can show up within 2 to 4 weeks after infection. At the same time, it checks also for HIV antibodies. This test is fast becoming the first test we do if we suspect an HIV infection. Venous sampling and finger prick testing are available for this test. On a practical level in the clinic, we would usually do a HIV antibody or an antibody antigen combination test as the initial screening test. And if this were positive in Singapore, we will send the sample to the lab for a special confirmatory test. Take note that there is a lag time between the point of exposure and when your blood becomes detectable for HIV. And this window period typically is about 3 months. Therefore, if there is a very high suspicion of HIV infection and your first test was negative, please repeat another test 3 months after the initial exposure.
All right, let's go ahead and stop there. Thank you, SG Dr. Wellness. If you guys have not heard of him, please go ahead over and subscribe to his channel. Like I said, he has a little under 50,000 subscribers, but I wanted to use him because I was reviewing some of his content and it was amazing. So yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, go ahead to his page and subscribe if you can. That is SG Dr. Wellness. Good dude, good doctor. So yeah, so let me share some statistics with you all in regards to the Black community. Get ready. All right. 40% of all people with HIV in the US are Black. I'm going to just let that sit there for a second. We account for what, 13% of the population and 40% of all HIV cases in the United States is 40%. All right, let's continue. You see right here, 479,300 Black people have HIV in the US. That's obscene. That's absurd, right? So, like I said, this is a unbiased live stream, right? The Black community needs to be held accountable for these numbers, right? More than 40% of new HIV infections in the United States occur among Black people. New HIV infections in the U.S. by race, ethnicity, 2019. Who's leading? Black people. 14,300, right? I see somebody said, is that Renee P? If you, I'll put the link into the CDC. You know, they do all the breakdowns over there, and you could just type in, you know, Georgia, and then you could probably put in a region, but you have to go to the, I'll put in the link. Don't worry about it. I got you. Let's see here. All right. So new HIV infections disproportionately affect Black gay and bisexual men and Black heterosexual women, right? So I had to put this in there because, like I said, when we start looking at these statistics, I want people to have the accurate numbers. So the majority of these cases come from the LGBTQ community, even though some of us, and let me just say this, we like to separate ourselves and things of that nature, but the CDC, we all Black, right? So when we report these numbers, they're going to show, even though they're LGBT community, it's going to show as Black people. There is no separation, right? So LGBTQ members are associated with the downfall of these numbers, right? And they know that. So let's continue. Can y'all see that? I don't think you could. Hold on, I want to try and move this up real quick. Make it a little bit bigger. Sorry, guys. So that first green bar right here that says 8,900, and that accounts for Black / African American, 8,900 new HIV infections in 2019 right here, and that's gay and bisexual men. And then heterosexual women come in at 3,100, Black women leading, right? Then heterosexual men at 1,400, right? And then people who inject drugs at 2,500, right? So, and these are all new cases in 2019. So, heterosexual Black women have 3,100, heterosexual Black men have 1,400 new cases in 2019, right? Y'all got that? Let's continue. Got that one. Cool. Yeah, and somebody caught that. Yeah, absolutely. Crossing over to both sides. And that's why we have to acknowledge the fact that there is a strong download community. Even though there's a small percentage of the Black community that identifies as LGBTQ, if there are men who are out there that are, having sex with both men and women, they may be a little bit more susceptible to catching HIV, and then they have sex with a heterosexual woman. That accounts for those numbers going up as well. It is what it is, guys. So, yeah, it's like Cerebral Inquirer said, glad I strap up. Absolutely, good brother. I like to see it. All right, so let me read off some other statistics in regards to HIV. Let me get this right. So this is basically what I say. I put my notes in here just to help you guys out. So the HIV CDC estimates that as of 2019, 1.2 million 1.2 million people in the U.S. have HIV. As we stated before, in 2019, Black people accounted for 13% of the U.S. population, but 40% of the people with HIV, right? But while new HIV infections declined by 8% overall from 2015 to 2019, they remained stable among Black people during that time frame. So for everybody else, the numbers of HIV cases declined. But for Black people, they remained the same, right? We got to do better. So new HIV infections disproportionately affect Black, gay, and bisexual men and Black heterosexual women. These are just notes that I'm reiterating. Just want to make sure you guys got that. So Black men accounted for 3/4 of new HIV infections among all Black people in the United States in 2019, with 82% of infections attributed to male-to-male sexual content. And I know, and it would be, stupid of me, it would be asinine for me to say that I don't have any LGBTQ followers. I'm pretty sure that I do. So if you're not LGBTQ, that's not for you, right? But for the LGBTQ members, you guys need to be aware of that. So most of the cases come from men having male-to-male sexual contact, right? Very simple. We got to have these statistics out there, guys. So furthermore, a CDC analysis found that Black, gay, and bisexual men were less likely to receive an HIV diagnosis, use PrEP to prevent HIV, and virally suppress compared to white, gay, and bisexual men. Basically, what that means is white men are more likely to get treatment for HIV or get PrEP, which is a new medication that we tend to prescribe for gay members who may think that they're may be exposed to HIV, so they'll take PrEP and get on that regimen to try and stop them from contracting the virus because the numbers of HIV is so high in the LGBTQ community, right? So for Black women, 91% of new HIV infections were attributed to heterosexual contact, while the HIV infection rate among Black women was the highest compared to women of all other races and ethnicities. So now that we got on Black men, it's time to get on Black women. We got to do better, right? So, I mean, protection, making sure the men that you're having sex with is wearing protection, get tested, all of that stuff. We gotta put these plans into action to make sure that we are protected and get these numbers down, right? So, additionally, a CDC study found that Black transgender women accounted for 62% of HIV infections amongst transgender women with HIV in 7 major U.S. cities. That's pretty crazy. So, and also in 2018, African Americans / Blacks accounted for 42%. We already discussed that. And then also 42% were among adult and adolescent African American Blacks. 31% were among African American Black men. 11% were among African American Black women. So basically what that means is 42% of the 37,000 new HIV diagnoses in 2018, that's what those points reflect, right? So, and also in 2018, Black adult and adolescent men accounted for 39%. As you guys can see, the numbers have increased in 2019. All right. Sheesh. Man, I mean, I put so many notes on here. I mean, it's crazy. Whew. Let me go over these real quick. African American males have 8.1 times the AIDS rate as compared to white males. African American females have 15 times the AIDS rate as compared to white females. African American men are 6 times as likely to die from HIV infection as non-Hispanic white men. African American women are 15.3 times as likely to die from HIV infection as white women. I'll stop there. It's so many statistics in regards to where the Black community is failing in this area. And like I said, these things are preventable, ladies and gentlemen, right? Protection. I mean, it's not going to always be 100%, but we got to do our part. It's that simple because our numbers are leading the pack. And you guys will see it. I did a thorough breakdown in regards to the statistics. I always mess that up for some odd reason. For chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And you guys will see in a second. Let me get to these super chats. Hopefully that was informative in regards to HIV. And yeah, protect yourselves. All right, let me go back. I think I seen a super chat in there. Gene, my man. He said 199 super chat. That's ridiculous for our Black people. Damn. Like I said, man, it was going to be maybe tough to hear, but we got to do something about this. Right? Got that one. Cool. All right. So good. Then we can continue. Now let's hit chlamydia. Let's let Gene's super chat cook. I'm gonna bring this up. Oh, now that we have time, let me go ahead and give y'all a chance to take a look at this picture. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make sure that I show this picture, and if you guys can identify what country this is and what landmark this is. Matter of fact, if you could just identify the country or the landmark, whoever gets it right first, I will send you shit. The super chat's been great so far. Let's go ahead and bump that up to a $10 super chat or Cash App. I will Cash App you $10 if you can guess where I am in this picture. I did this for the travel episode and nobody got it. But I use another picture. But as you guys know, I've been to 46 different countries. And some of them, some of the countries that I've been to, people probably have never, they wouldn't even think about traveling to. So when you see this picture, you probably be like, what the hell is that? So $10 Cash App is on the line if you get this picture right. If you can guess what landmark this is and what country that I'm in or what city. Let's see here. Let's start here. I wish I had some Jeopardy music. So here we go. Can you guys see that? All right. First person to call it out. Hey, I got you a $10 Cash App right now, live on air. I'll send it to you. All you got to do is drop your super chat or your Cash App in the comment section, and I got you. All right. So can you guess what country that is and what landmark that is? You see that back there? I'll give it a second. $10 Cash App is on the line. Let me see them guesses. No, somebody said Dubai. Oh, nope, that's close. Somebody said Japan, Singapore, Australia. I just gave y'all a hint. China, nope. Let's see here. Opera House, nope. Sydney, Australia, nope. I'm gonna give y'all a little more time before I continue with the show. Let's see. Philippines, nope. Media man, I'm blind as a bat. I tried. Hey, who is? Hey, D got it. D got it. Man, that you are absolutely right, D. Man, everybody give that man a congrats. That is Abu Dhabi. Good on you, good brother. Man, Abu Dhabi. Do you know where that is? That. Oh wait, somebody said Rod got it. Did I miss it? Nah, Rod. Did I miss Rod up there? Let me see. No, I didn't see Rod. I think oh, okay. Now I got let's see. It was the first one that I see is, let me see here. Let me go back just to make sure. Yeah, it was D. D said Abu Dhabi. Hey man, hey, he's the man. So basically where that is Yas Island Marina. If you guys remember the name Yas Island, that is where that remember when the pandemic was going on and MMA, the UFC had to find a place to fight? That is Fight Island, right? So yeah, that is absolutely Fight Island. Yas Island, that is the marina. So fun fact in regards to this place, my brother, he lives right down the street from this place. He lives right down the street from the Grand Mosque. He works for Northrop Grumman. So every year I go out there and I visit him. So yeah, so it's just an easy trip to go out there. But yeah, that is Fight Island. If you're look at us, Cerebral, you know about this. You a fight guy. He said we love Fight Island. Okay, D got it. Okay, cool. D, if you could please go ahead and drop your Cash App. Who knows? Somebody else may feel generous and hook you up. But I got you right now. I think I got some Cash Apps in here. Man, let me give a shout out to Will Stewart for sending the $6 Cash App. Appreciate that, good brother. And also Greg Wilson for the $5 super chat. Let me go ahead and heart that. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Both of y'all brothers. Man, that's great. Come on, D. Let's get that Cash App in there. I'm gonna do this every live stream. I'm gonna pick a picture from every country that I've been to, and I'm gonna post it in here and see if you guys can get it. So feeling generous. That $10 super chat is on the way. So before the show is over, D, you gotta send that Cash App in there so I can go ahead and hook you up. Coffee on me. Let's see here. So let's get back to. We got some other videos, you guys. So I want to get that in here. A second. Let me get everything situated for you all, so we can get to chlamydia. Did he put it in there? What did he say? He said, medium man. Oh man, I like that. Is that sick with it? Yo. Hey, you know, there was a record label called Sick With It Records in the Bay. I think that was that who used to be on Sick With It Records? Was that E40? Be Legit in them? The Click? E40 in the Click? Is that Sick With It Records? I just remember that name. Yeah, I like that. That take me back. Going back to California. Yes, what Sri will say? You about to be researched? LOL. It's funny. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Appreciate that, bro. Jesus. Who the hell sent that? Oh, it's hey. I'm sitting there looking at my Cash App. I was like, who the hell sent a $50 super chat? My man Sick With It, yo, just sent a $50 super chat. Bro, man, you are far too generous. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Damn. Let me send you some love, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, he hooked me up. Let me see. He said, yes, Sick With It Records. Okay, Texas. Man, but thanks again, bro. $50 super chat. Wow. That's thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. Thank you again. Man, I'm a humble guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't know. I keep $20 in ones on me at all times, just so if I see any, homeless folks, I tend to give it out. So when people give to me, I'm just so grateful, man. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, appreciating the hard work. Thank you. Man, that's crazy. Hope you got that. And make sure, D, I'm going to keep reminding you, bro, put that Cash App in there so I can send you this $10. But before we get to that, let's get into this video about everybody's favorite STI, STD, chlamydia. Let's continue.
I am Dr. Rachel Gorwitz, Medical Officer in the Division of STD Prevention at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Although most chlamydia cases reported are among teens and young adults, any sexually active person can get this sexually transmitted disease, or STD. In fact, CDC estimates there are nearly 3 million new cases of chlamydia each year. People get chlamydia by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has this STD. Most people with chlamydia have no symptoms, which is why the infection often goes undiagnosed. If symptoms occur, they may not appear until weeks after having sex with someone who is infected. Women with chlamydia may have an abnormal vaginal discharge or burning sensation when urinating. Men with chlamydia may have a discharge from the penis or a burning sensation when urinating. Even when a chlamydial infection does not cause symptoms, if left untreated, it can go on to cause pelvic inflammatory disease, chronic pelvic pain, or make it difficult or impossible for a woman to get pregnant. CDC recommends that sexually active women under age 26 be tested for chlamydia every year. It is important for both men and women to discuss their sexual history with their physician to determine if they should be tested for chlamydia. Chlamydia can be cured easily with antibiotics prescribed by a healthcare provider. Even after treatment, though, a person can be reinfected if they have sex with someone who has chlamydia. So it's important that sex partners are also treated.
I'm laughing at Mona. Mona said, is she AI? Yeah, she is very mundane, but I'm pretty sure she's reading the script. So it looks like that. That's pretty funny. Oh my goodness. So let's go ahead and bring up these chlamydia statistics, right? So if you guys can see that, right? Okay, cool. So if you look here in about 1995, chlamydia was actually added to the nationally notifiable conditions list. So basically what that is it allows public health of all levels, local, state, territorial, federal, and international, to share health information to monitor, control, and prevent the occurrence and spread of state reportable and nationally notifiable diseases. So that's when chlamydia was actually added, right? So let's continue. So here are the chlamydia statistics for 2021. 1.6 million plus total cases of chlamydia were reported in the United States. The rate of reported chlamydia increased 2.9% from 476.7 to 490.6 per 100,000 people. So this is one of our most prevalent STI STDs. All right. Now, these are the rates reported in regards to sex for chlamydia. Can you guys see that? Cool. So as you see here, women lead in this area. 1 second. Let me bring this up. I got to get, man, my phone is messing up. Don't y'all have any joke? Don't have no jokes about Apple products. I don't want to hear it because it is messing up. This is crazy. This is something now I got to figure out a way to combat this. It is what it is. So yeah, so these are the rates for chlamydia by sex. Women lead in that area. Where the hell are my notes? Damn it. It's not showing up. It is what it is. So chlamydia rates reported by sex. Here are the notes. So the chlamydia rate among men increased 5.2% from 334.2 to 351.7 per 100,000 men. The rate among women increased by 0.6% from 614.1 to 618 per 100,000 women. Remember, these are the rates for 2021. Over the last 5 years, men decreased by 2.3%, women decreased by 9.4%. However, women still lead in that area. Over the last 10 years, the rate among men increased by 35%, and then it decreased for women at 3.2%. So over the last 10 years, men have had a sharp decrease at 35%, which is pretty good. I mean, of course, it could be better, but it is pretty good. And women had a decrease at 3.2% over those same 10 years. Now, somebody asked about, was it Georgia or Atlanta? So here's a breakdown of the regions. So you have the South leading, right, in chlamydia cases. Then you got the West and the Midwest about neck and neck. And then also the Northeast coming in last. And we're going to break those down here. So the South had the highest rate of reported chlamydia rates at 539.6 per 100,000. That's a 2.5% increase from 2020. And then the West came in second at a 7.5 increase. The Midwest, a 2.1 decrease. Good on them. The Northeast, 4.0 increase from 2020, right? The West had the greatest 10-year increase in rates of reported cases of chlamydia, 422.3 to 480.2 per 100,000. That's a 13.7 increase from 2012. The West, what y'all doing over there? I mean, I'm from California, so I guess I could take that L. All right, now this is by race. Here we go. Who's at the top? Once again, Black folks. And then we're going to go down the list. I think it's Asian American. No, not Asian. Alaskan. I think Islander. I always get that mixed up, but I got it on my notes down here. Let's go to the notes real quick. Here we go. All right. So the highest rate of reported cases of chlamydia was among non-Hispanic Black or African American persons at 1,051.6 cases per 100,000. That's a 1.9% decrease from 2020. We're trying, but that's not enough. Jesus. So non-Hispanic American Indian or Alaska Native persons, they came in second with a 4.9 increase. Non-Hispanic Native Hawaiian at or other Pacific Islander, they came at a 1.7 increase from 2020. Hispanic or Latino persons of any race, 14% increase from 2020. And then non-Hispanic persons they had a 12.7 increase from 2020. Non-Hispanic whites, 179.5 cases per 100,000. That's a 0.8 increase from 2020. And then last, we have non-Hispanic Asian persons, 94.5 cases per 100,000, 11% increase from 2020. So kudos to the Asian community for either protecting themselves or having lower partner numbers, sexual partner numbers, right? I mean, that's amazing to see that number so low, right? Look at that. Jeez, but they are increasing from 2020, so we got to get that under control. But 94.5 cases per 100,000, that's impressive. So, and then also at the bottom here, I highlighted non-Hispanic persons of multiple races had the greatest 5-year increase in rates of reported cases of chlamydia at 158.8 to 265.9 per 100,000. That's a 67.4 increase from 2017. So the Hispanic community, you got to do better in that area, right? That's increasing too sharply. All right. So the proportion of STD clinic patients tested positive by age, group, and sex. So I just put this in here for a little bit of context and clarity. So the majority of our cases are coming from 19 and younger, which is, I mean, hey, it's crazy. And that's coming from men who have sex with men who have sex with only women, and also women. So you see that 19 and under, that's where most of our cases are coming from. That's crazy. And let me see. Let me answer this. This is pretty good. Let me see. Ronnie McIntyre Jr. Could the increase in other ethnicities be due to interracial dating with Black people? I mean, that's a possibility. Like I said, in general, the U.S. as a whole needs to get better in regards to protecting themselves, but in particular, Black people. So yeah, that is an accurate observation. I will say that much. That could possibly be true. So, but I know most of you guys probably didn't know. But like I said, that 19 and under crowd, they out here bumping and grinding. So I mean, that's all I can say. They out there bumping and grinding. So let's continue. Is that shocking to you all? Let's see. Renee P says, not surprising what the body counts people have before graduating high school. Yeah, and that's something that needs to be talked about. Now, also discuss that some schools don't allow sex education in their schools, or in their districts. So, and it's necessary. So, pornography promotes everyone going raw, so safe sex has no appeal. I mean, yeah, that's true. But you know what's crazy? And the funny statistic that a lot of people don't know is that porn stars actually get tested more and are far more cleaner than the general population, because having sex is their job, right? So you would assume that, oh man, they have they have a better chance of contracting STI or STD, but it's actually not true, because they have, if I can say a professional corn site, they have regularly testing dates, right? So they have to get tested, and that's something that the general population does not do. The majority of the population does not get tested. So it's pretty crazy. Cerebral says, ain't it illegal for kids to have sex under 18 unless emancipated? They need to crack down. You know what's funny? In some states, and I'm pretty sure they haven't changed it, in some states you can be, I think the legal age of consent can go as low as 16, I believe. So somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think I heard somebody mention that before. Maybe it was the lead attorney who mentioned that, but some states have a consent, or you can have sex at 16. So let's see. If a corn star gets an STD, they get blackballed from the industry. Absolutely. Yep. Cerebral says Mr. Marcus Sloppy Tail almost messed that up, getting burnt. I remember that. I think I remember that story, and I think he discussed it maybe on maybe Vlad TV or something like that. One of those shows. Gene said they still busted and disgusted. That's funny. All right, so let's go on to gonorrhea. We're gonna just go through these. So these are the rates reported cases by the United States. You see that right there. So I made sure to put the statistics in there. So there were 696,000 plus total cases of gonorrhea were reported in the United States in 2021. The rate of reported gonorrhea increased 2.6% from 204.5 to 209.9 per 100,000 persons or people. And then these are the gonorrhea rates of reported cases. Here we go. So we got men leading in gonorrhea. And then you have women coming in last. The total is right there in the middle. Here's the statistics on that. So the gonorrhea rate among men increased 4% in 2021, from 2012 to 2021. The rate among women decreased to 0.4% from 2012 to 2021. So good on the ladies for decreasing that, even though it's a slight bit, but that's still pretty good. Over the last 5 years, the gonorrhea rate among women increased by 23%. And for men, it increased to 21.6%. So the more that society pushes this sexual liberation narrative, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get increases in STI and STDs, right? And if you guys are questioning why I keep saying STI and STDs, because supposedly they had gotten rid of STD and just called it sexually transmitted infections. So to serve its purpose and to satisfy all communities, I just say STI, STDs, right? And I tend to say that at work as well. So it's okay. Let's see here. So over the last 5 years, I got that one. Over the last 10, the gonorrhea rate increased 132.6% among men over the last 10 years. That's crazy, right? The rate among women increased 60.4% over the past 10 years. Like I said, sexual liberation has a lot to do with that. And appreciate that, Sick With It. He says in Arkansas, the age of consent is 15. Wow. Jesus, I did not know that. Thank you, bro. I knew it was low, but I didn't know it was that low. My goodness. So, and again, we did it by the breakdown for the regions. The South leads with gonorrhea cases, the Midwest in second, West third, Northeast fourth. And here are the statistical breakdowns of that. So, the South had the highest rate of reported gonorrhea at 235.7 cases per 100,000. That's a 2.1% increase. The Midwest had a 7.6% increase or decrease. Sorry. Good on them. And that's from 2012 to 2020. The West had a 14.7% increase from 2012 to 2020. And the Northeast coming in last, 2.6 increase from 2012 to 2020. And the note right there says that the West had the greatest 5-year increase in rates reported of gonorrhea at a 25.3% increase from 2017. Wow. The West also had the greatest 10-year increase at 188.7% from 2012 to 2021. Sheesh. Okay. Did y'all see that? Let me go back. Leave that up there for a second. That is wild. So, and then here's the race breakdown. Again, you guys will see a trend here. Black folks, we coming at the top. Let's go to the statistics. So, the highest rate of reported gonorrhea was among non-Hispanic, Black, or African-American persons at 627.4 cases per 100,000. That's a 4% decrease. That's good, but we still leading. Like I said, you'll see a common narrative here. And then we have non-Hispanic American Indian or Alaska Native. They're a smaller race or ethnicity demographic. So yeah, so if their numbers are going to be up there because of the smaller percentage of people, right? A smaller number of people. And then non-Hispanic Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander coming in third at an 8.4% increase from 2024 or 2020. And then fourth, non-Hispanic persons at a 9.2% increase from 2020. Hispanic or Latino at 15.7% increase from 2020. And then non-Hispanic white persons, 3.1 increase for 2020. And then coming in last again, the non-Hispanic Asian community at a 24.5% increase from 2020. Even though, I mean, that's a large amount, but 37.6 cases per 100,000, that's impressive, right? I mean, kudos to the Asian community. Y'all doing it. So non-Hispanic persons of multiple races had the highest 5-year increase in rates of reported cases of gonorrhea, and they had a 103.5% increase from 2017. That's pretty crazy. And then once again, that 19 and younger, I mean, you're at the top of the list right there. So men who have sex with men, you'll see a trend with that as well. Like I said, the LGBTQ community is not absolved from this as well. They have to take accountability for these numbers as well, right? And this is men who have sex with men, men who have sex with women only, and also women, right? So I'm pretty sure, yeah, a lot of people were shocked by that 19 and younger crowd. That's pretty wild. Syphilis. This is the last one, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna get y'all out of here. So this is the syphilis breakdown right here. Total syphilis, primary and secondary, and early non-primary and non-secondary. Let's go ahead and go here. Syphilis statistics. 171,000 plus total cases of syphilis were reported in the United States in 2021. And then the rate of reported was 27.5% increase. That was 40.4 to 51.5 per 100,000. And that was an increase. And here are the numbers as well for total syphilis, primary and secondary, early and non-primary and non-secondary. Oops. Here's the breakdown. The rate of syphilis among women increased from 48.9%. That's pretty crazy. The rate among men increased 19% from 20.5 to 24.4 per 100,000 people. And then over the 5 years, the women's rate increased 204.3%. Wow. And then the primary and secondary syphilis rate among women increased 67.8%. And then among men, there was an increase of 165.2, from 9.2 to 24.2 per 100,000 people. And that's over the last 10 years. And here's the West leading, South, Midwest, Northeast. Those are the regions. And here's the breakdown for you all. The West had the highest rate. They had an increase of 26.9. The South had a 19.7% increase from 2020. The Midwest coming in third, 42.5% increase. And the Northeast in last, 20.4%. The Midwest had the greatest increase over 5 years. They increased 103.3%. And then also the Midwest had the greatest 10-year increase of 275.8% from 2012. So that's pretty wild. Midwest, what y'all doing over there? All right, so this is the only one where black / African American are not leading in syphilis, right? Here we go. Let's break down these numbers. So the highest rate of reported cases of primary and secondary syphilis was among non-Hispanic Indian or Alaska Native persons at 42.2 cases per 100,000. And then black / African American, we came in second at 20.8%. Then Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander They had a increase of 47.3% at third. Then fourth, Hispanic Latino persons of any race, 27.2% increase. And then non-Hispanic persons of multiple races, 27.1. Whites, they had a 26.1% increase. And then non-Hispanic Asians, again, at 4.4% increase. Like I said, kudos to the Asian community. I don't know if that has to do with I remember there was a correlation somebody had mentioned that it was some what was that? It was a dating app where they did some it was a breakdown, a statistical breakdown of who was desired the most and least. And I think it was Asian men and black women were at the least desired. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this in these spaces. But that maybe that has something to do with the Asian community numbers being lower. Or, like I said, I don't want to put it to that. I would say they're probably being more safe and have less partners. So that could be a thing as well. So let's see here. All right. So this is the breakdown of the syphilis numbers. So what you see here in that maroon, that is men who have sex with men. They lead in that area, followed by women, then men who have sex with women, and then what was this? Men with unknown sex of partners. So they have a category for that as well. So as you can see here in 2022, men who have sex with men lead in that category. So that has to be taken care of with the LGBTQ community. And then this is how we surveyed the regions. So these are the states that account for the West, the Northeast, the Midwest, and the South, right? So if you see your state in there, that's what they consider the regions. I'll make that a little bit bigger. All right. Whew. Okay. We covered a lot, right under 3 hours. Like I said, who said it? What is that? Julian said Oriental, that term is still used. Was it on there? Let me go back. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't heard that in a while. Did you see that on there? I didn't see it. Oh, I thought you seen it on there. Sorry. But yeah, I haven't heard that in a while. When I was younger, yeah, we used to identify Asians as Oriental for some odd reason. I don't know. But yeah, so we covered a lot. Man, my goodness. Whew. Let me see here. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got everything. All right. So I hope this live stream was informative. It was a lot. You guys stuck with me. This was my most viewed live stream, and I'm happy to say that it was one of the most educational live streams that I've done on my platform. So to see you guys show out with the Cash Apps and the Super Chats and just tuning in at the rate we had at one point, I think it was who was keeping count? Was it like 105 people in here with over 128 likes? Like, this was crazy. You know, I appreciate y'all rocking with the platform. And like I said, I'm not doing this for entertainment. I'm just doing this to help these spaces out, you know, and give you guys a little bit of education in my field and also help Black men and Black women know the truth, right? Because I believe, and this is just my theory, that a lot of the issues that we have in our community in regards to our relationships is that a lot of our Black women think negative about Black men because of the false stereotypes about Black men. So the reason why I put these stats out is to hopefully reach some of the Black women who thought otherwise. So if there was a Black woman out there who thought that 50% of Black men were in jail, and you guys may think that's crazy, but I did a poll on my community tab, and there were literally some people, and I'm just assuming that it was mostly Black women, that thought that 50% of Black men were actually incarcerated, right? And I had to explain to them that it's only 627,000 black people total that are currently incarcerated, and that's among all types of prisons, jails, etc., right? So yeah, so me putting out these videos dispelling the black father deadbeat stuff and just anything, I do this for you all just to make sure you have the right information, and hopefully when some of these black women who had these misconceptions of black men, they see it and they'll be like, you know what, I was wrong, I thought this, but now I believe this is the truth, right? And so, but I mean, I'll keep my fingers crossed. I mean, it is what it is, but mainly it's for black men, so you guys can know the truth. And just in case you get into a jam and you need to bring up any of my videos, feel free to do so, just so you can dispel these rumors. And like I said, I'm trying to protect the black male image. Of course, both black men and women, we all need improvement. We've seen it in these STI and STD rates, right? We need to improve in the businesses that we own. We need to improve about killing one another, right? But we also want to make sure that we highlight the areas where we are doing well in, and that's okay. So we got to keep continuously improving. Like I said, we may not be a unified black community, but if people continuously start to improve themselves individually, then it's going to affect the black community as a whole in a positive way, right? And also, let me give a shout out to a couple content creators in regards to how I want to say this. So there are a couple content creators that I used to enjoy watching when they used to have their discussions with women, right? And you guys know that I am opposed to these panel shows where they get out of hand and they get all crazy, but there are two platforms. One of them used to do the interviews, and one of the platforms is currently doing it right now. So I'm going to give a huge shout out to We Need to Talk. There's a young man named, I believe his name is Obi Allen. He does a great job in regards to interviewing these women and having a respectful discussion. Is very calm. He's very poised. He has the patience of a saint, right? And it's a one-on-one. So if you guys want to view any interactions or conversations with black men and black women, I would suggest that you go to We Need to Talks page, because he does the one-on-one interviews, and he also interviews married couples as well. And it's nobody getting out of hand. They're not getting crazy. They may believe some outlandish things, but he does a great job of keeping the conversation respectful. And he's a very poised young man. And then also, believe it or not, you guys may not believe this, but Hafiz from The Roommates, he used to interview women. He did, I think it was last year, where he did like a full 6-month segment where he would take two women, and him and Christopher Below, they would sit down and they would interview these two young ladies. Now, granted, they may have the same talking points that you may hear on the Fresh and Fit show or anything like that, but it was very respectful, and it was a case study. I enjoyed watching those shows when he used to interview the young ladies, right? And then also in regards to the Just Pearly things, guys, I don't know Just Pearly things. I've never worked with her. All I know is the fact that I've never been subscribed to Just Pearly things, but I did watch her content because of the fact that the algorithm continuously pushes Pearly's content to my page, because she does work very hard, right? I mean, you got to give the young lady that. Now, granted, I don't agree with anything that she said in regards to the statement that she made about her blacks and having that, racist young man on there. Don't agree with that at all, right? So I just wanted to end with this. We have to understand that these spaces are not regulated. We don't own YouTube, guys, right? So for people to continuously say that we need to kick Pearly out of the black manosphere, I would say, okay, do that. But as O'Shea said, the black manosphere is not regulated. So what are we kicking her out of, right? So let's say all black people stop watching Just Pearly things. then we could say, okay, we did our part. But like I said, guys, her reach is too big to where losing black viewers are probably not going to affect her, because for one, she's in the UK, and I don't think they think the same as us, even though some of the women on her show may sound the same as, you know, black women over here. But it's really nothing that we can do. We don't regulate any of this space, guys. And it's just to be perfectly honest. I remember they tried to do this with Fresh and Fit when they had the little girl, Asian Brat, the rapper, on there, and he kicked her out, or she got kicked out. They tried to cancel them. The black folks tried to cancel them. But their audience is so multicultural. Like, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a person who doesn't like Just Pearly Things, I would advise you just not to watch it. Block her channel, hide it, just don't watch it, right? Because honestly, there's nothing you can do to combat whatever she's doing, because you have to give it to her. She is a hard worker. So, I mean, she's out there. It is what it is. But she already told everybody multiple times that she was in this space for entertainment purposes only. She told y'all. So, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, right? But I do want to say this, and we have a lot of black people in the comment section, and you guys will probably agree. You can never please black people. So apologizing won't help. And that's coming from a black man, right? I'm black, and I understand that you cannot apologize to black people because it will never be enough, right? I don't know if you guys remember when Juneteenth, the holiday got approved as a national holiday. I remember IKEA, they tried to celebrate Juneteenth by having a luncheon that offered fried chicken and watermelon, right? And so if you look at the history of Juneteenth, I believe it's centered around eating watermelon. And black people, I say it right here, we like fried chicken. There's no secret on that, right? Can we agree? But black people got upset that they made a menu that had fried chicken and watermelon on there. But when you ask black people, if you had to do the menu, what would you have put on there? Fried chicken, watermelon, greens, cornbread, the same stuff that they put on the menu. So I say that to say this: you cannot please black people. So for her to apologize, it honestly means nothing. And I'm not going to tell you who told me this, but a young man who corresponds with me on the regular, he said that he was on a live stream where somebody said, nah, Pearly apologizing isn't enough. She needs to pay us $50,000. I was like, man, you can't please black people. So, like I said, if you don't rock with Pearly, then go ahead and don't watch her. Like I said, I absolutely did watch the Andrew Tate, Brittany Renner episode. That was an amazing show. Her production value was great. But like I said, I don't support anyone who would sit there and have a known racist on the show. You know what I'm saying? So good luck, Godspeed to her. But that, just because she has a space on YouTube, that doesn't mean that you guys have to watch it. You don't have to watch it. If you don't like it, tune into something else, right? And then also, one thing I didn't like, and I'm going to talk to the black men about this. Any of the black men who had discouraging things about the black women in these spaces that are for male uplift or the male movement, male positivity, if you are any of the content creators that degraded these black women, such as, I think it was Courtney Michelle, Crimson Cure, Chantel Simone, if you guys degraded these black women just because they had differing opinions than you, I just want to tell you right now, you wrong. Because those women are trying to advocate for us, and you guys are going to sit there and degrade her or degrade those young women just because they have a differing opinion. That was wrong. I did not like that at all. This had nothing to do with black women. So for us to come at black women or, some of these black men and call them out their names and just, try and degrade what they're doing, that was wrong. So I'm going to be the first to tell you, y'all need to hold some of this accountability, because this situation had nothing to do with black women and everything to do with black men and the support that black men are giving just pearly things. Now, granted, she mentioned that her audience is half and half, right, or something like that. Maybe more on the on the UK side than Americans. But like I said, I felt that was wrong for some of these content creators to go at those young ladies, and hopefully they continue doing their thing and they're not jaded about even getting in these spaces anymore. And like I said, well, not like I said, like O'Shea said, it's unregulated. The black manosphere is unregulated. So if you guys have any issues with the women being in these spaces, you can't do anything about that because we don't own YouTube. And also, the black manosphere, again, is unregulated. So anybody could come here and start talking about whatever they want to talk about. And if some of the points hit home with the black manosphere, what are you going to do? Nothing. We don't control any of this, right? So my suggestion for you, if you have an issue with YouTube, then you may want to find somewhere else to stream or create your own platform, right? But as of now, all this fake outrage and all these videos about just pearly things, most of it is strictly for entertainment and content, guys. Because I see too many videos about this topic and it makes no sense, right? Back-to-back videos. It's strictly for entertainment and content because I refuse to believe that the majority of black people are this upset at just pearly things. One, I'm pretty sure it has to do with her being white. We can be honest about that. And also her rise to fame over the past year. I mean, it's unheard of, right? So, I mean, yeah, I refuse to believe that the black community is up in arms that much. And also, if there are any men in these spaces that thought that the women who already didn't like black men were going to start liking you after this just pearly things happen, then you foolish. If they didn't like you before, they ain't gonna like you after. So you can expect multiple videos from the women who don't like black men about how just pearly things is the new king of the black manosphere, and they going off saying black men ain't doing this. Y'all gonna just have to eat that. Because I mean, in certain areas, it somewhat looks like that. So, but we all not gonna agree. Black men and black women have never all agreed on one thing. So there are gonna be some black men that don't mind what Pearly is doing. There's gonna be some black men that disagree. There's gonna be some black women who agree, some black women who disagree. It just is what it is, right? So you can judge whoever you want to judge, but the only thing that I suggest is there's any black men that are taking shots at the black female content creators, it makes no sense. So I would advise you just to leave them out of it. Granted, men, we gonna do what men do, right? We argue amongst one another, but we can handle that. But these black women, they ain't had nothing to do with this just pearly things. So I'm gonna just be honest. Now, also, I want to put black people to the forefront as well. People keep saying that just pearly things brings on black women to make them look bad. We have to take accountability for the way we carry ourselves on these damn panels. You cannot sit there and bring people on, they act the fool, and then you're going to blame the host? That makes no sense whatsoever, guys. So black men and black women need to be accountable of how they represent themselves on these damn panels. These panels are going to be the death of y'all, I'm telling you. So to blame you bringing city girls on there, Pearl. Well, in order to be a city girl, you got to act like a city girl, right? So if they act crazy on Pearl's show, what does that mean? That's not Pearl's fault. That's their fault. So black people, both in the UK and in America, we got to take accountability on how we act on these damn panels. It's that simple, guys. You cannot blame the young woman for that. And then another point I wanted to address, and this is the final one. I seen somebody comment something on the live stream to the point of Pearl got help from her father, as if that's a bad thing. They said Pearl's dad, who is in the top 0.001% of earners, they were mad at the fact that they thought that Pearl's dad helped her build her platform. Why the hell wouldn't he? Trust and believe. When my daughter is ready to start her own business, you know who's going to be the first investor? This guy, right? As long as it makes sense. So if y'all expecting her dad to turn his back on his daughter to create this space, then you're foolish, because you would do the same thing for your child if they had a great business plan that they were trying to sell to you, right? So yes, absolutely, I'm gonna be the first one to support my daughter in her business ventures. What kind of mess is that? If black people got that mentality in the community, that's one of the reasons why we effed up now. So we can't help our own kids. Is that what you're saying? Come on now, we got to chill on that. So yeah, that was my last point. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And let me get to these final comments. We got E Cherry in the building. Watermelon should be a proud thing. Absolutely. It was one of the first proud businesses, black owned when free. There is a great documentary, I believe it's on YouTube, about that, man. I don't know if you referring to that same one, but I learned about that as well. That's how we made a lot of money from farming watermelon. That's crazy. Cerebral says it was a chick on Danica Live before Obsidian's broadcast. Oh, that's the one that said the $50,000. I didn't want to put your name out there, bro, but yeah. November Sun says, I didn't know Pearl had those views. It was disappointed to see. The only thing to do is vote with my feet and walk away. Like I said, that's all you can do. I mean, if you don't like it, then you just stop watching the young lady. It is what it is. But trying to get a petition to kick her out of what? YouTube? That's not up to us. What can we do? So Mona, yeah, thanks, E Cherry. Appreciate that, bro. Let's see here. Crown Screw says, you've been hoodwinked, media man. I have. How? Blood Crow says, facts. I don't watch her stuff. I'm still trying to figure out how she got into the black manosphere in the first place. Honestly, I don't believe it's her getting into the black manosphere, because honestly, a lot of people worked with Pearly, and she made her way. She made her rounds to damn near every platform. So, I mean, if you're going to have an issue, then you got to have the people that allowed her on the platform. So, I mean, but like I said, one thing you can't deny is she works hard. She employs a lot of people. They put out a lot of content. Like literally, they send Pearly stuff all the time. She has multiple channels. So, yeah, I mean, if the question is, she infiltrated the black manosphere, but if O'Shea is saying that it's not regulated, then what can you do? So Crown Screw says, to defame the space, who? Pearly? Julian says, in the long and short of it, it doesn't matter. Yeah, like I said, I refuse to believe that all these black folks are this outraged about one woman. Like, I don't know. Julian, just Pearly is a new Jerry Springer show. Yeah, I mean, like she said, it's for entertainment. She said that a long time ago. I believe she said that with an interview with Hafiz, right? So, I mean, that was on Valuetainment. So she said, I'm here for entertainment. And she said it on Lapeef, I believe. So she's told y'all what it is. So, I don't know. Mahogany, oh, good to see you in there. She said it makes her a perfect example of the kind of women who know how that kind of man moves. Yeah, I agree. Said, I'm starting to think Hafiz was right. Gene Herb. Yeah, I mean, he could be. People are trying to take credit. I told you all, but I didn't hear anybody say anything that they would have guessed that Pearl was gonna bring a racist onto her show. I didn't see anybody say that. So, my man, Big Money, he says, salute, media man in chat, no notifications, got to watch this one back. Oh, you good, bro? Appreciate that, and thank you for supporting, as always. Cerebral says, a black woman came up on Obsidian Live and said how black men misconstrued and added to Pearly Thing's words. She kept it real, addressed the facts, don't add to extra. I have to go back and watch the whole thing. Like I said, I talked to Cerebral offline periodically when I have time on social media. When he mentioned that Obsidian was going live, I was literally working on the show and also watching the Lakers get their ass whooped by the Bulls. I lost a damn bottle. Me and my boy, he's from Chicago. We bet liquor bottles back and forth. and I lost a bottle on that damn game. The Lakers did not show up, but we got a chance to redeem ourselves on Wednesday, and we bet another bottle. So, Woke Quill says she in Black People algorithm. Yeah, she is, and also she's in the manosphere as a whole algorithm, right? She just mentioned that she was going live with the Better Bachelor. He's in the white manosphere space or whatever, and she's done interviews with the white manosphere as well. So she seems like a stout businesswoman. I mean, she's hitting all angles, bro. All right. D says people are mad because her existence is the all elusive goal of Black excellence. Her dad is 1%. Her mom works for her and submits to her husband. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that's the bad thing about the issue. That's why I was so taken aback by somebody saying her dad helped her, like that was a bad thing. I mean, it is what it is. Some people. Woke Quill said, I'm glad to see the interview. People need to know what's going on outside of the Black space. It's like when talk shows did the same thing. Mona says, great show, Media Man. Have a good night. Y'all, appreciate you, Mona. And like I said, definitely going to compensate you tonight for your work, as always. Thank you, ma'am. Always got to take care of Mona. Woke Quill says, I want Pearl to interview to 5%ers or some hoteps. Yeah, she and like it's man, she definitely was out of her lane in regards to that slavery remark. She doesn't know anything about slavery. Honestly, I don't think Pearlie is racist. She's just an ill-informed white woman. And there's a lot of them out there, right? A young white woman at that, right? So that was not her lane. She shouldn't have spoken on that. And yeah, just an ill-informed white woman. So to me personally, so Mahogany Jones says equal opportunity, all money is green. Yeah, like I said, man, we can't regulate. We don't own none of these spaces. It will be great in the future that we could get our own Black space, our own YouTube, space, something like that. I know I was one of the first investors for Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes' son, he started Fanbase. That's an app for that was created by a Black person, him. And I was one of the first investors for that. So, yeah, he was on the Breakfast Club. Look it up. Go to YouTube, type in the Breakfast Club, Isaac Hayes Jr. or the third or something like that. And he has created his own app, Fanbase. It's called Fanbase. Cerebral said, the Black women said, many male content creators misconstrue Pearly words, not all of them. I mean, they may, I'm pretty sure they probably embellished a little bit to make it hit a little harder or whatever. But like I said, I don't believe that this has anything to do with Black women. But you know that the Black women who don't like Black men, they are going to rejoice with this information. So don't be surprised. And Black men, like I said, we got to take this L. So even though I have nothing to do with it, I mean, I'm Black. I'm a Black man. So it is what it is. Maddox, 200 plus likes. Thank you, team. Man, bro. Appreciate the update, bro. And remind me to give you that. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that after the show. Because I know me. I'm going to forget. Let me do this right now. Let me go. Is this showing up? Because I'm definitely going to forget. I'm old, guys. I'm 43. Give you this good wrench. Oh, I already got yours. Okay, I'm on it. Cool. Okay. Cerebral says she had too much of a comfortable moment. Yeah. She like I said, she was unaware. She didn't provide any pushback because she just didn't know. So, yeah. Seminole 2014 said, bless up, Media Man. Appreciate it. Good to see you here from YouTube. All right, guys. My goodness, this was a great show. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this show as much as I did. This is one of the longer live streams, but I knew it would happen. Like I said, I'm on my way to start my international travel, and I will definitely put out these videos for you all to give you some insight on Europe. I know we don't talk about Europe in these spaces a lot, on the Passport Bro side, but I travel to Europe frequently. So, excuse me. I want to... Yeah, it's time to go. I want to make sure that you guys get this information about these different countries that I'm going to visit while I'm out there. So it's going to definitely be a great time. Hopefully it would encourage you all to travel to Europe. It is one of the greatest continents that we have. I love Europe. So yeah, so I'll definitely hook y'all up. Let's see here. Excuse me. And then hopefully that's your is that your YouTube page? Maddox. If it is, make sure everybody Black, is it Black? I'm about to check that out. I'll check it out. And Cerebral says those Black women gonna come for people not showing up. People had their reasons on their own schedule. I was the only one to say it's wrong to put them all in the coward category. Yeah, and I agree. But like I said, bro, we just got to deal with it. You know, we got to take this L because it's you know how. Just be perfectly honest. You know how Black women feel about white women. So anytime they could throw it in, the Black women who don't like Black men, this is a perfect time for them to pounce, right? So it is what it is. Don't worry about it too much. Just let it, roll off your back. It is what it is, bro. It's gonna happen, right? Let's see here. I get on the panels every now and then. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna definitely check it out, bro. Appreciate that. Cerebral says, I don't like some of the people in these spaces condemning behaviors, then doing the same thing. I mean, it is what it is, bro. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I kept y'all too long. Thank you for tuning in, everybody who supported, especially everybody who supported with the super chats and cash apps. Man, I am gracious and grateful to you. D, I don't know if you ever put your, let me go back if I missed it. D, if you're still here, put your cash app in there, man. I'm trying to hook you up. If I missed it, I'll go back and I'll check it out. But if you're still here, make sure you put it in there, put it in the comment section so I can hook you up with that $10 for figuring out where Yaz Island was. That was pretty good. I was impressed. I'm going to try and stump y'all every time we go live and show you a different place and see if you can get it. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Be safe out there. I'm going to be preparing for my time out there in Europe. So I'll be getting the house ready. I'm going to call my maid, get my girl ready. She will be out there for the last 3 days of my trip. So yeah, so everywhere I go, I always take her. So yeah, so she will be out there. And I'm going to get my house ready and start packing up, and get out of here. So yeah, it's going to definitely be a great. Oh, here it is. Let's do this right now before I get out of here. Pay. What's that? This whipping 5. Here we go. Confirm. And sent. There you go, good brother. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Like I said, every week we're going to do a trivia. So y'all have a good rest of the night. Enjoy your week. Be safe. Eat healthy. Hit that gym. And be prosperous at work. Or work on some new projects if you got them. And like I said, I'm going to be looking to y'all for send me any videos of you being a subject matter expert in whatever field that you're in. I want to share those videos. So I'll definitely clip it up. I'm going to hook y'all up. So stay safe. And we will be back next week live from Europe. I'm going to get the time zones right. So, T713. My bad, bro. I almost forgot you. Good to see you here, as always. Peace out. And be back next week from Europe, live from Europe. Thank y'all for tuning in again. Peace. God bless. And take it easy. I'm out.